I have some tour dates to tell you about. Victoria in the Canada, I'll be there. Winnipeg and Calgary as well in the Canada. Miami, Florida, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Chicago, Illinois, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Oxford, Mississippi, Belton, and College Station, Texas. Tickets at theovon.com/TOUR. Today's guest is a political commentator, an investigative reporter, and a podcaster. She's known for her conservative viewpoints, her many viral debates, and her own show, Candace, which you can find releasing every week. I'm grateful for her time. Today's guest is Candace Owens.
Shine on me, and I will find a song. I will sing it just for you.
Anyway, is this mic on her okay?
Are we good? Do I sound good? Oh, great. I look perfect.
Oh,
Actually,
dang.
yeah, you just
Well,
told me.
I'm not going to tell you that. You're obviously a taken woman. Are you hot or cold, do you feel like?
No, I am. I only run one way because I'm black. So
I was going to ask because you're pregnant. Are you hot or cold? But yeah, that's all.
This is like a repeat conversation. Like, first off, there's the women. We always run cold.
Oh, yes. I've heard that. My friend Neil Brennan is a comedian. He has a bunch of jokes about
Yeah,
that.
and so I'm a woman and I'm black. So I naturally like the heat.
Oh, so black women prefer to be warmer?
Yeah, of course. No, well, we like the heat. Like, our natural habitat is warm.
Oh, that's
and
a good point,
Yeah,
huh?
my family's Caribbean, so like the warmth feels great. So like, when I'm boiling hot, like my team of guys, they always want the air on. So it's like freezing cold in here, and I have to tell them, like, some of you are Nordic. It doesn't work. Like, like I have a redhead on my team, and I'm like, Skylar, like, you're from the Nordic countries. That's why you feel this way. I think that like where you're from dictates a lot of your life, or where your family would originally be from.
Yeah, sometimes I don't think about that. It would be great if your AC or whatever had like a Caribbean setting or whatever. And you could have set that and suddenly like some great music came out.
It'd
like,
be perfect.
boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop, boop. And then some guy's trying to get you to gamble offshore. Suddenly you're like, what temperature is this? That would be so crazy.
Yeah.
They should have, where are all the cool settings for the HVAC?
I absolutely love the heat. So I cannot stand the winter. I can't stand the cold weather, the gray weather. Even there's a difference in this, I think actually gets scientific. I didn't need the science of it, but it does get scientific. But if you're from those countries, like if I'm in the UK, because my husband's English, just the gray weather, I can't live like this.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
a bunch of
where
Eeyores
is
over
the
there.
Sun? I need this, and my husband just is fine. He can be like productive, like super productive. If it's like 12 days of gray and rain, he almost loves it. He just wants to retreat to his library.
Oh, yeah. I think all British people are always just writing war letters and stuff. That's how I kind of always envision them. They're always just looking out the window and writing about the war to each other.
That's what my husband does all day.
Of course, yeah. And then even Paddington Bear, their bear has a coat. He's not even, like our bears are naked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying that that's the way to do it, but
Yeah.
if you bring up an American teddy bear real quick. Let me see this topless bastard.
Paddington Bear is proper.
Yeah, now some of these are obviously some pretty right-wing bears. Bring up a politically neutral teddy bear.
No, but they are. They're always like not well dressed. We don't really wear a lot of clothes in America in general, and especially as you come down to the South, it just gets, because then there's England and there's New England. So I'm from Connecticut, so there's a lot of similarity. And then the more that you drift south, you're kind of in a different country.
Oh, that's a good point. I never even think about that. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Because if you see some people cooking some of the stuff I've seen them cook, you would call the police in some communities, But in other communities, you're just sharpening your silverware. So, yeah, I agree that that's interesting. But, yeah, they should have definitely some better settings on the AC. If they had Caribbean, like you set that bitch to plantains or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I would love that.
I would absolutely love it.
You are pregnant now.
I've been pregnant for 4 years, actually. So I think now people are kind of saying to me, still or again, when they see me. Are you still pregnant or are you pregnant again? So I'm not sure which one, but this is my fourth kid. So, and I've had a child every year. It's kind of crazy. This is like a lifestyle now for me. Damn. Pregnancy is a lifestyle. Yeah.
Are there good dreams when you're pregnant? Like, that's one thing, because you're kind of dreaming for two. I feel like, is it almost like being at the Sphere or whatever? That's what I would wonder.
You get some really weird dreams when you're pregnant, and also some very precise dreams that end up coming true totally weird. I mean, I woke up and had such a crystal clear dream. My last pregnancy, my EP was trying to get pregnant.
And EP means executive producer?
Yeah.
Okay.
My former executive producer. And I had a crystal, like her son visited me. Like, and it was before she knew she was pregnant. And I said to her, "You're having a little boy. Like, you're pregnant." And she was like, "I'm not pregnant." And then she went back.
Somebody shot an episode of The Ring in your womb, maybe. It's one or the other. That sounds wild.
And then they got pregnant. She found out she was pregnant, and then she went back because I texted her, and it was the day of conception. And my sisters did the same exact thing to me when they were pregnant. So there's some weird pregnancy dreams that happen. I go with them. Like if I remember a vivid pregnancy dream, I'm like, that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, because you would think that the spirit would be able to come visit you before it showed up, right? Because this is just kind of the physical inclination of a spirit, right? Being alive on earth. And so it would make sense that the spirit got to come and kind of loiter a little bit or visit friends or visit like friends of whoever it was going to occupy, you know?
If I think about dreams too hard, it freaks me out. Like deja vu, it just scares me. Genuinely, I'm going, what's real, what's not? Is this Inception?
Yes.
Because you are so certain in a moment of deja vu that you've been there, you've seen that person, you've met that person, and yet you haven't in your waking world.
Yeah.
So us not having, like, just humans not having an answer to deja vu is one of those lingering things that in the back of my mind, if I think too much about it, I just get freaked out.
Yeah, I had a guest on recently, this guy, Ari Shafir, and we had the strongest moment of deja vu I'd ever had, and I almost grabbed him, and I was like, you've been here.
Yeah. And were you, like, maybe sometimes like an enemy or a friend, or you just know someone.
Well, it was like, I knew you. I was like, we've done this before, and I almost felt like he knew it, and he was like this bastard is, this dude. I was like, tell me why you came before. That's what
I know you from another life.
Yeah.
What was our beef?
Like, dude, yeah, tell me what you're fucking doing here. Tell me who you're working for.
Yeah.
Did so you have 3 children that are out of your body right now? Is that what you're saying?
Out of my body, yeah. 3. We did 3 under 3. My eldest just turned 4. And so, yeah, we are on another planet right now in my house. Like the toddlers are running things. They're running things.
They are.
And I'm scared of them.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable saying that here. I wouldn't tell them that. I act tough.
No, you got to, I think you go away from the house.
We don't let them know we're outnumbered, because they're just kind of learning to count. But we are fully outnumbered.
You only teach them to count to 2.
Before they start making sense and having little toddler meetings of like, hey, listen up, there's more of us than there are of them. I watched way too much Rugrats growing up, so.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I didn't see, it's interesting that you would see Rugrats as like a psyop idea of like babies kind of like coagulating and forming like a Lord of the Flies.
Tommy had a screwdriver at all times.
Good point.
He was a moral person, but he had a screwdriver at all times in his there's
that
2
diaper
of them.
was thick too. And I'll say this is a little girl on the right. She looks like, and this guy is also a very handsome guy. In this photo, she looks like Anthony Smith, who is one of the greatest UFC fighters. Bring up a photo of Anthony Smith as well on a separate and I shouldn't say that because she's going to get upset.
Yeah, and she's not the one to upset. So you just be very careful here before she Anthony Smiths you.
Okay, yeah, never mind. Yeah. Oh, you have a beautiful family. Are you able to take a vacation? Were you able to take any vacations recently or anything?
Yeah, we just got back. I'm saying just got back, but that's how it feels like time is flying. But we spent all of December overseas. So we spent a lot of time in England because we just want to spend time with my husband's family. And then we popped over to Switzerland for a ski trip, which was awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah. So, and I had a lot of these thoughts, like when we were walking through Zermatt, and I love Switzerland. It's a beautiful country. But, you get the tour and you're way up in the mountains and they figured out how to just live in the mountains. And you get these moments where you're just like, there were no Black people here when this was built because there's no way we would even it's so cold that we would be like, let's see if we can get a sleigh up here and try to build roads. Like it's just, and it's amazing. Like Zermatt, like look at that. It's the most beautiful town and they figured out how to make everything happen on tiny little roads and with taxis going up and in between.
Wow. That's Zurich?
That is Zermatt.
Zermatt.
Yeah. Have you been to Switzerland?
I haven't, but you always hear about the Swiss Alps. Is this it?
It's beautiful. Yeah, Switzerland is truly a beautiful, beautiful country. And I love the mountains. I will say that. I'm a mountain girl. I actually kind of hate beaches.
Really?
I have an issue with sand. I have beef with sand. Yeah. It just gets everywhere. I don't know. It's drying and it gets everywhere. And I just don't like it.
Yeah. I wonder how I feel about it. Speaking of those villages, actually, yeah, I haven't been there, but my friend, when I was a kid, he won his family football pool or whatever for the NCAA football, like whenever they have the bowl games, and his mom coerced him into buying a Switzerland village or whatever that they could put on their table at home. So he came into some money. He came in, it was almost like, I think it was like 1,100. He came into some money, and so then, dude, like 2 weeks later, we're like, dude, what are you gonna do with the money? And he had a freaking Christmas village at his house, like
a dollhouse,
or just like, you know, those villages people get, and it's
Yeah.
like Switzerland, and his was Switzerland, but it was but he was furious about it, and anyway, I don't know why I told you that story, but that sounds like a beautiful trip. I would like to go to Switzerland. I spent a little bit of time in France, and then I was in London recently, and actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I hadn't enjoyed it as much before, but I think this time I noticed that the people over there, they seem to have like, or at least the women, some of the women over there are more, or maybe this is, I don't want to say women, but there's more going on than just like likes on social media. There, people seem to have a bit more to them as individuals, but that could just be the people I was talking to.
Yeah, I absolutely love London. It's like a second home, and there is a totally different culture. And if you're one of those people that I like to be uncomfortable, so I like to go somewhere where I know absolutely nothing and be uncomfortable and learn. And a lot of people don't like that. They instantly become judgmental and kind of resort to stereotypes of, oh, well, the English and the king and the queen and whatever it is that's kind of programmed into you. I am like the exact opposite person. Like, I absolutely love their culture. I love that there's so many rules. Like, there's no reason for rules, but they have rules. And you know what I mean? I love that they wear hats still to weddings, like fascinators rather. Yeah, which I learned. I learned that they're called fascinators, not
A
hats.
fascinator is a hat?
It's called like the ones you wear to the wedding. Those are called fascinators, not hats, and there is a difference.
Bring it up.
Yeah.
A fascinator.
Yeah, and he's. I want to see him spell it too, because that's even.
He sounds like a gay superhero, kind of. That's how I feel.
It.
Oh shit! And it's just a dude that shows up, and it's like he doesn't have any specific powers like any of the other superheroes. He's just like more like exciting. He's like, oh shit, there's Fascinator Randy or whatever, dude. All my
That's a fascinator.
Oh, that's
what
so
they're
it's
wearing.
A female hat.
Yeah, and so they still wear hats to weddings, and I love it. So when I go to weddings now, I wear hats. Well, I call them hats just for Americans to understand, but fascinators. And to shop for fascinators is really fun. It's actually like, I feel like you would be hilarious shopping for a fascinator, you know, because you can just find one that speaks to your character, you know. But we've given up that. Like, I love gloves, hats. When you see someone wearing a lot of like just hats, gloves, and what's the other thing I like your outfit to look complete. You just look more complete. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, there's more. They're more. They look a little bit more gift wrapped over there,
Right.
Whereas here, if it's hats and gloves, it's burglary usually. I feel like so it's just like America's kind of
Best
like
dressed people in America are burglars, if we're being honest.
we have so many burglars now. There should be a contest. I feel like. Oh, we've definitely come a long way from the Beagle Boys. Bring those guys up from DuckTales. Those guys were horribly dressed.
DuckTales, you strike me as someone who watched the DuckTales.
We had to. This was our babysitter. I was like, Mom, do we have a babysitter? She's like, yeah, the Beagle Boys. Don't you watch DuckTales every day? I'm like, that's a television program.
Scrooge McDuck. This is a throwback. Yeah, I remember it, but it wasn't my number one show for sure. Like, I really loved Doug Funny.
Oh, yeah.
He was really like a cool guy.
We also ended up marrying a white guy, too. So I think that all checks out.
Do you think Doug Funny, though? He wasn't, I mean, I thought Roger was cooler. And he was blue guy.
Oh, yeah.
He was a blue guy, Roger. Oh, no, green. Was he green?
Roger.
Am
They
I
could have
having-
changed him.
Yeah, they probably changed him.
Yeah, people always say he looks like Macklemore a little bit, too.
Do you know that thing, what is the term for it? It's going to escape me at the moment, but where you go back and you are so certain that something was drawn a certain way.
Yeah.
The Mandela effect.
Yeah.
That really creeps me out too. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You'll be like, no, it was exactly like this. And then it wasn't.
Right. And I'm certain it was, like the Bernstein Bears, like,
Yeah, that's the big one people talk about a lot.
yeah, that freaks me out.
Remember, many people, let me see, the Mandela effect is when a group of people misremember something, such as a brand name or event. Some examples include many people remember the name.
Yes. Fruit of the Loom had a cornucopia.
I agree.
And they're saying it doesn't now. So who's doing it? Who's deleting it? Who's deleting the files of our memories? Because I am certain Fruit of the Loom had a
Me
cornucopia.
too. Little cornucopia, little fruit, little loom.
Yep.
Or you brought the loom. I don't know what a loom is. I don't want to. I don't know.
But this is the kind of stuff where they just are deleting. They're deleting files now. So someone is just at the CIA, just like hitting the delete button, and then they just.
I wouldn't be
pretend
surprised.
It didn't happen.
I'm not surprised.
I'll have one for you. Pikachu.
Okay.
Describe his tail.
Pikachu short. Let me think of him.
Yeah.
Oh God, he's nasty. He had short little tail, kind of like a, just like a little triangle, like a isosceles triangle, kind of coming off.
But
of him.
what color was it?
His tail was yellow.
You don't remember anything on it?
Maybe it had a little ball at the end or something, like a little.
Yeah, like a
black ball at the end.
Yes, there was no black little thing at the end of it. Now they're saying Pikachu never had that. That stresses me out. There was a black ball at the end. The one on the left is correct, and they're saying the black ball never existed. So someone's just deleting the files. They're deleting the files.
Well, I wouldn't be. It's like it feels like that a lot of times, and we get so like compromised in our brains because we only have so much bandwidth, right? Like we think we have this immense amount of bandwidth, but we really don't. And so it's like once your like files are kind of filled, it's like that's all you have.
Yeah. Are you saying we're getting old?
Yeah, I think that doesn't help, you know. Yeah. Candace Owens, thanks for hanging out with me today. I appreciate it. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you're like such a brave, you're like veracity, you're like fearless, you know, and you're your fear. I don't think anybody couldn't say those things about you. Do you ever like get worried for your own safety or anything these days? Is that happening?
I really don't. And it's definitely a consideration, like, because people are constantly saying to me, worry about your safety, get security. But I kind of think security is one of these things that you get for your own vanity, because my perspective is they shot JFK in a moving vehicle. He's supposed to be the most secure person in the United States. And so when you see people walking around and they've got security, I'm like, okay, maybe it makes you feel good, but at the end of the day, it's in God's hands. So
yeah, it's just, they can easily catch me outside of an Eddie Bauer or something, you know.
That's what I mean.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That won't be.
It won't be that difficult. So I am extremely realistic about things like that. And I also think that there's safety in people even saying to watch your safety. Like if people are looking out for you and those sorts of things. I think we live in a different world now with social media and people that are way more invested in individuals. And the things that were able to happen like in the 60s couldn't really happen today without causing a major firestorm. So I try not to think about that too much. I worry more about just the privacy as a parent to children. Like that's the one area, because I've seen some clips online of people getting wackadoodle. Whether you're talking left or right, some people can just get way too crazy and way too comfortable and will go up to someone when they're with their kids. Like I've seen a clip of someone years ago that was chastising Tucker Carlson. Like I think he was in Jackson Hole, like he was in Wyoming, where just nothing happens in Wyoming.
Oh, I think I remember this clip maybe.
Yeah.
But he was with his children?
He was with his children. And
that's so bizarre, because then the kid is witnessing, and the kid is like, what's even going on?
Right. They have no idea who I am. My kids have no idea who I am.
Yeah, he's like, I thought my dad sold nicotine pouches. He's a
They think I make breakfast, do laundry, you know what I mean? So if someone comes up and they start screaming, they're likely to join in. Yeah. We've got her outnumbered. But that sort of a thing, traumatizing a child for the sake of your political beliefs. And I worry in those scenarios just because I don't trust myself not to fly off with a handle, you know, because there's a natural bear instinct that mothers have. Oh, yeah. And it's like, stay away from the cubs. So that's, I think, my only daily consideration.
I saw, is this the clip? Or is him talking about it?
It's hard to have lunch at the Four Seasons in Jackson during the winter because there's some private equity wife who's going to scream at you on your way to the men's room because that world hates you. He happens to live in Jackson, Wyoming. And I go there, to ski and to fish. And I have for a very long time. And I always say to him, I can't go anymore because I get yelled at lunch over my elk chili or in the lift line or whatever, or at the, West Side Market.
Yeah, people can get a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So that's kind of your biggest concern. Mm-hmm. Do you, did you see that Trump signed that executive order for the healthcare?
Which one? Oh, the one that he recently signed that was just going.
Yeah, I think it was like 2 days ago. Can you bring that up? This was like
about price transparency. Yes, yeah. I did see this. And it's amazing because I've been kind of one of these people that's been beating the drum on the health stuff. Before it was cool. Like I was called anti-vax and whatever, irresponsible, stupid, you're going to kill your kids because polio is going to come back, all the good things people say on the internet. And it's so great to see that something that I've been saying publicly, I've been saying this since I was 20, since I was vax injured, but something that I've been saying since I've had a platform is finally catching and people are starting to ask questions. And so I think that that's actually one of the places where the left and the right come together, because I say to conservatives actually caught on late to the health movement. It was actually these leftist moms who were like super granola and crunchy,
I believe that for sure.
Yeah. California moms, and they were the ones that were they were behind that health campaign long before conservatives caught on to it. And where there was no information for parents who didn't want to choose to vaccinate their children. And I found RFK Jr., who I had disagreements with, but he was the only person that was publishing information via his Children's Health Defense website. And I printed out everything and learned everything kind of from the beginning. And so to see this now become like a national movement is so cool. It's just about people having rights. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be blindfolded when you go into a hospital. You're there for a couple hours and you get a bill. It's $2,000. You're like, yeah, that Tylenol we gave you, that was $300. Like, well, I would have never taken the effing Tylenol if I knew it was going to be $300.
Yeah, they're like, it was mined from the Tylenol mines in Rome or whatever. And you're like, you're lying. This is unbelievable, though. I mean, I think this is amazing. This is empowering patients through radical price transparency. Today, President Trump signed an executive order to empower patients with clear, accurate, and actionable healthcare pricing information. The order directs the Department of Treasury, Labor and Health and Human Services to rapidly implement and enforce the healthcare price transparency regulations. The departments will ensure hospitals and insurers disclose actual prices, not estimates, and take action to make prices comparable across hospitals. And I think because the number one cause, this is one thing that, like I've never really been super political, but one thing that I did latch on to over the past few years is this program called Power to the Patients, and Fat Joe has been an advocate for them. We've done some stuff for them. John Jones, the UFC fighter, but it's that when you go to there they are right there. When you go to the hospital, they can just say, agree to pay. Mm-hmm. Then you get the bill later and the prices are insane, but you have no idea what the prices are.
They're burglars and they're not even wearing fascinators.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off the most. They're not even wearing fascinators and they're burglars. And it's ridiculous because they're usually stealing from the poorest people in America. Yeah. And it's so awful. It's so awful what's been allowed to happen. But sometimes when I see these executive orders, which by the way, just random side thought because my brain works like this, Fat Joe is not fat anymore. He hasn't been fat for a very long time.
That's true, but the price they charged him for it is insane though.
Yeah, really? Crazy. He's in good shape now.
You're right. Sorry, Medium Joe?
Medium Joe. Yeah, Medium Joe. But he's absolutely right. And like I said, the people that suffer the most, and it seems like that is kind of the economic model of America, is steal from the poor to further enrich the rich. And there's no greater example of that than the healthcare system. And it's ridiculous when people say this is an example of capitalism. It's not. It's the exact opposite of capitalism. There cannot be capitalism and free markets where you don't know how much something costs. Yeah. It would be wild. And I try to give people this understanding because you've grown up in the system, so you think it's normal. It's the craziest thing you've ever seen. Like, imagine you come into a store and you're like, how much does a shirt cost? Can't tell you right now. Like, just pick up the shirt, see what you want, take whatever you want, and then we'll bill you. And they just make up the prices after you're gone. And they're like, actually, like that one t-shirt was $20,000. And you're going, if I had known it was $20,000, I wouldn't have gotten the t-shirt. Like, you have to be able to actually price shop and say, this store is now going to go out of business because it's too expensive. And the greatest example of that, so that you really know it's a drug cartel in operation. It's the ambitions of, all of the people that they do documentary series on, or not documentary series, like create all these Netflix series about the big drug dealers. What's the name of the cartel family?
Purdue?
No, in Mexico.
Oh,
but yes, to the Sacklers, but essentially the El Chapo. Yeah, when you think about El Chapo and who's the guy in Colombia as well.
I hit on his wife online one time.
Did you? El Chapo's wife?
It was an accident.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, it wasn't an accident, but I thought he was deceased. He's not.
Oh, so you're probably gonna get killed. Sad.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really like your stuff.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
Sad.
That's feelings go fast these days, man. But what are you saying, that it's very
It's a
similar to
cartel.
this?
It's what they wanted. They wanted a marriage with the government so that they would be able to push drugs. That's exactly what America is. And we do these series like we're like so highfalutin, like the we would never engage. This is what we do. It is a drug trade that is happening in plain sight. And, you've got politicians who accept it because we have more big pharma lobbyists in DC than we have congressmen. That's wild.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. I mean, this was one thing that like Bernie Sanders and Trump agreed on, that Vance, this was like one thing that both sides, like it was bipartisan, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my question is like, because now when you go, you can say, okay, well, if it's $700 here for this MRI, I'm going to call across the street and they're going to have to make it $500 if they want your business. So now you'll get to the actual prices eventually.
Mm-hmm. And that's what happened with LASIK surgery. So what's interesting is that when insurance companies kicked out, LASIK surgery used to be something that insurance companies covered. And then they decided that it was cosmetic. So they were no longer going to cover it. When insurance companies were covering it, it was about $10,000, $10,000 to $15,000 per an eye. Then when they said we're not going to cover it, suddenly the doctors had to compete. And now you can get LASIK eye surgery for $3,500 for both of your eyes.
Well, they need you to be able to see so they can fuck you over. That's all. That's the problem.
Right.
They're like, we can't even fuck these people over anymore because they can't see. Yo, you hooping. You hooping. Basketball fans, are you ready to win some real money? Well, check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 dunks on its rivals. It's simple. Select 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a certain stat, like rebounds, three-pointers, assists, etc. Track your picks for a shot at huge cash prizes. That's all there is to it. Pick 6 is available in most states, including Missouri, California, Texas, Georgia, and more. I've played Pick 6 and I like it. I like picking a player and thinking about how they're going to do. And then you get to watch the game, and if they do better or worse, you can just kind of really take it out specifically on them. Now we don't even get mad at a whole team. I like picking Lonzo Ball because he does a lot of actions. Picking more of this and less of that. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6 and cash in. New players get 50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just a $5 entry. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code Theo. That's code Theo for new customers to play $5. Get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, folks. If you've got a little itch for Bitcoin, or you're trying to dip your toes into that crypto pond, then listen up, because I've got something for ya. Let me introduce you to MoonPay, the smoothest, easiest way to buy or sell crypto. No need to learn some secret handshake or barter with a medieval wizard. Just use what you've already got. Credit card, debit, PayPal, hell, they'll even take Venmo. That's right, MoonPay's making crypto easier than ordering a pizza. If you've been thinking about stacking some digital coins, MoonPay's got your back. MoonPay isn't just another player. They've been around the block and have the experience to make buying crypto as smooth as a freshly paved road. MoonPay. I've had a rocky relationship with crypto. You know that. I've been in, I've been out. Ba-da-ba. At one point, I was checking Bitcoin prices more than I was checking my own pulse. I sold it all a couple times. I thought I was out, but MoonPay has brought me back. So if you're looking to jump into crypto, there's no better place than MoonPay. Head over to moonpay.com/THEO or you can access them in any of your favorite crypto wallets, such as Exodus, Phantom, MetaMask, or Trust Wallet. Disclaimer, this isn't financial advice. Trading crypto carries risk, and you could lose your investment. MoonPay is here to facilitate, not advise, same as myself.
Get rid of these insurance companies so that we can just pay for what stuff costs. Like, I'm happy to go into CVS and buy the $15 Tylenol rather than to pay because the insurance companies are gauging prices, and suddenly it's $300 for a piece of Tylenol.
And then the stress too. That's the thing that Bernie Sanders was talking a ton about. It's like the stress that people sit there, because then the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical debt in America, and just the stress that causes people. You've lived your life. Suddenly you're sick. You're gonna get sick anyway because you're getting older, and now you just are stressed at the price because they send this thing, and then the value you put on your own life at that moment, and the constant stress of calling these companies and just this war. And medical debt is the leading cause of bankruptcy in the U.S., accounting for 66.5% of all bankruptcies. And there's a talk right now of Medicaid being cut, right? But I'm hoping this is part of their plan, that they will enforce this, because that's the problem. This happened before that Trump made this an order, and it wasn't enforced. It was when he was leaving office. So I'm hoping that this time that this is something that they will enforce and will actually get the prices down. And then you won't even need as much Medicaid because the prices will be real. So I'm hoping it's part of like a simultaneous thing that they're doing.
Well, it's good that it's become like the mainstream conversation because most people didn't understand it. Like I said, when you grow up in a system,
you don't know.
And the congressman will then do a really good job of making you fearful. Like, if this happens, if we get rid of Medicaid, if we get rid of Obamacare, whatever it is, then you guys are not going to be able to afford. And it's actually the exact opposite. Like, you get rid of these things and you'll be able to afford it because you're getting rid of all of these people that are just taking money from you and stealing from you.
Why do you think it takes, like, this is one thing I'm noticing about government. It's like, no matter who's in office, whether it's Republicans or Democrats, it's always the same shit. Nothing ever changes, It's like you would think at some point they would give you you would get some of these things solved. Like, even with this, like, why does it take something so long? Like, are both sides just screwing? Yes. You start to think that just both sides are just screwing us.
Well, we need term limits. This is the problem. So if you have no incentive, if you are going into government and you know that you can stay in government forever, then you have to think of government as your employer. And you want the company that you work for, in the same way that you have a company, I have a company, to grow. Right? Obviously, your job here when you're doing this podcast, you're not like, well, what can I do to make the podcast smaller, And so they are going there. And if they had term limits, they would be like, well, in 4 years, if we say 4 or 6 years, whatever it is, I got to go back and be a regular American. So I have no incentive to help grow government. I have every incentive to help grow individuals and grow families and make sure that prices are low. They're going in with the exact wrong mentality. Then they get in there and it's like, you can actually be here in time. How old is Nancy Pelosi? She's like the crypt keeper.
Yeah.
Right? Think about how old our government is. And they've been there forever. Biden's been in government forever. So their incentive becomes, this is my company and I'm going to help grow it. And then the lobbyists come to them and they want to stay in office forever. They want to grow their
Chuck
power.
Schumer, that slurp lizard's been in there for frickin' forever.
Yes, and so that would change overnight. Their incentives to recognize that they're going to spend the majority of their life outside of government would make them go in there and want to make things better for us, and that's the problem. So I'm a big supporter of term limits.
And there's a problem where people shouldn't be able, if they're in government, they shouldn't be able to then work for lobbies right after, because then they're working for the lobbies. That was one thing.
Lobbying shouldn't be allowed, in my viewpoint.
Shouldn't be allowed at all.
Period. It should be just completely outlawed.
But every American feels that way. Mm-hmm. So why is it like, what are we even fucking doing then, it feels like?
Because they don't care what we think. And that's why Trump referred to it as a swamp, right? They don't actually care what we think. Once you get them into office, their job is to keep themselves into office, keep themselves empowered forever. And they're just in the business of trying to explain in really dumb terms to the American people, like I said, fear mongering. Well, the reason I had to sign this, and it's all buried. It's like 3,000. That's why I love Thomas Massie, by the way, because Thomas Massie will say, we just need these bills that we're signing, or we're one line. Instead, it's like, if they even ever agree to do anything for us, it's because they've already done 37 million things for themselves in the first 37,000 pages of the document. And on the last page, it's something for the American people. It's crazy. Why do bills need to be 300 pages long?
Yeah, and lobbyists are writing half of the bills too. That's one of the craziest
They're
things.
writing the bills, they're getting the bills passed, and we have a bunch of traitors in Congress. I mean, that is just the reality of the circumstances. And anybody telling you that it's just traitors on the left or traitors on the right is lying to you. We have traitors on both sides. It's very obvious we have traitors on both sides.
But how do they keep them from just saying, hey, wouldn't you think at least 2 or 3 people a year would be like, hey, this whole thing's a fucking charade? Like,
they do. Rand Paul, Ron Paul, Rand Paul, Thomas, so few, because that's what money is. People worship money. They don't worship values. We have this issue in the media. We have this issue in government. We have this issue in business. There is just something about money that just turns everyone into a prostitute. And it's sad. I mean, I've seen it up close. I've been, there's this expression, never meet your idols.
yeah.
And I felt that the closer that I got to politics, the more I realized how much I hate politics. I've always hated politics, but you hate it extra once you start to meet people and you realize that everyone's in it just to enrich themselves. And so few people will be able to walk away from riches, so to speak, because they actually want to do something good. And those people tend to have something that's so much better than riches, which is like their lives are in order. They have families. They're actually happy. And they don't want more, So...
Yeah, I think that's what dumbfounds me the most. And you believe this program, you believe it because as I guess like an American or a citizen of any country, you want to believe in the altruistic nature, not totally altruistic, but at least maybe 75% altruistic nature of people, or that people want to do well. I think that's one of the things that's most baffling. And then at a certain point, does that just have to start to turn because the grossness of wealth you just start to see how sick it is and how sour it is. That's easy for me to say that, I can pay my mortgage and I have, know that I can afford food. So maybe that's an unfair thing for me to say, but I just think there's this overall, kind of theory there or feeling there. So what do you think is going to be different about Trump in office this time? I think if they enforce this thing, that's going to be amazing. I'm curious to see if they will. But what do you think is going to be different about him in office this time?
Look, there's going to be great stuff and there's going to be bad stuff. There's no question in my mind, that Trump is less beholden to the state. And that was why the state fought so hard to keep him out. And I always pay attention to those people because I have a almost reverse relationship with the media. When someone's being super attacked and the entire mainstream media hates them, I usually assume that there's some modicum of truth there. There's something that they're fighting for that makes them hate them so much. And that's like how I came across Thomas Massey. And I would say with Trump, he is definitely a person that does not love war. And so the military industrial complex, and he's definitely a person who looks at things like a businessman, which is just, why would you want to have all of this money going out of your company, so to speak, if you treat your country like a company? And it makes entirely no sense. You don't even know where it's going to obscure causes. Like, why are we funding like Pakistani LGBT rights? It's like weird when you take a look at it. And so it's cool to see him instantly attack that, and that they're automatically, like when they went through, you said, it's just amazing to see that. So I think in terms of the economy, we are going to instantly kind of bounce back, and people are you can already feel it now. People aren't holding their money as much. I think there was to me, I felt, and I don't know if I'm biased because I'm conservative, but there was a kind of a darkness and a fear when Biden was president. And it wasn't because Biden was president. It was because we knew Biden wasn't president. It's not quite a strange.
Oh, yeah.
That's like the scariest part. Like, it wasn't because he was president. It was because he wasn't president. So it's like, who was running the country?
I agree. I can't believe that every day there wasn't a newspaper article from every company that was like, hey, there is a man who is obviously being commandeered,
right?
Who is a puppet because he is not mentally well. It's not even a knock on him. The guy's not well.
Right.
It's like if somebody did that to my grandfather or father, I've said that forever, and
it's embarrassing. Yeah,
it's
that the
fucking
family let it
embarrassing.
do
It's
it.
embarrassing to the rest of the world. It's like people can tell the guy's not well, and they put him on the bike for 40 feet or whatever, and it was like, who put him on the bike?
Falls over.
The guy. Well, it's just like you can't put that guy on a bike, dude.
No, it was elder abuse.
It is. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like elder abuse, and it felt like a horrible way also for the world to see us like, oh, this is what they think of their elders, right? And that kind of hits you in a place where like, man, it's just gross. Like people took advantage of this guy. I'm amazed that his wife didn't speak up. maybe that his children didn't speak up. But also, I don't know what their lives are like. I don't really know, and maybe he wanted to not. There may have been a big part of him that was able to speak well and communicate and said, I want to keep going, But what do you, like, I'm kind of conflicted about Trump, like, with his stance on Gaza, right? To me, that's like,
I totally disagree with him on it. And it's like, it's hard to reconcile it in many ways. It's hard to reconcile because I see so much hypocrisy in terms of when we say America first, for whatever reason, we have this magic carve out. And you cannot pretend that that's not because AIPAC spends $100 million in our election. And this gets back to what we were talking about, whether it's Big Pharma, whether it's Israel, everyone's for sale in DC. And so I have been very disappointed with Trump on his perspectives about Gaza. I have been disappointed, by the way. He's the last person I'm disappointed with, because I've been disappointed, as we saw all last year, with the conservatives, people that say they're Christians, who are condoning this on the basis of what? Like, you're saying, oh, well, they're Muslims, so who cares? And that gets into our programming, which I've spoken about in my podcast, of this 9/11 programming, where we just don't see Muslims as like human life. And to me, to speak about Gaza and talking about casinos and hotels, and these people just lost their entire families. Yeah. It's so far removed from humanity. And I think it's wrong. And I'm tired of America being used as Israel's piggyback. For whatever reason, everyone can critique every other country for taking money from us. And then there's just, everyone's blind when it comes to Israel. And obviously I paid a very heavy price for saying that last year, but I don't care, because I am truly someone whose values have never been up for sale. Like, I don't care. I will burn everything to the ground and rebuild it. I have to be able to, like, sleep at night, and to see those Palestinian children, and the images are seared into my brain. The screaming, the crying, the bleeding, the stuff that we saw on X for the first time, largely thanks to Elon freeing the bird, and really realizing how much we had been lied to about what was happening in that region. I just, it was very easy for me to say, take whatever you have to take from me. I have to be on, like, the human side of things.
I think it's become both sides of the aisle now just see that, human people just feel like that it's just wrong.
Of course.
What's happened is wrong. Like, probably a year ago, people were afraid to even say that. And now it is what everybody is saying. Like, even Piers Morgan is saying it on his show now. Like, people are saying it's obvious that you can't go and annihilate and genocide this culture and make them disappear. And then Trump to come on top of it and say they're going to build, you're going to go on a lazy river where there's bodies of, like, who could even go to that?
And what's so crazy is the mainstream media thinking that we're so stupid that they're going to condition us to believe that to not support the ethnic cleansing, they're then going to mine our, like, preconditioned beliefs about the Holocaust and be like, oh, well, a Jewish person died, so if you don't agree with what we're doing over here, then you're a person that wants more Jewish people to die. It's like, this is an evil way to try to socially engineer what you want, because actually it's precisely because of what I learned growing up about Holocaust and ethnic cleansings that I do not support what the state of Israel is doing. And you're trying to convince me that it means that if anybody's been wronged in the past, they can't wrong people in the future. You're also wrongly conflating, like, a Jewish American. Why? You have nothing to do with what's going on in Israel. This is a foreign country. No more than if right now we were standing up to a genocide that was happening in Ghana.
Yeah.
And then when I'm going to be like, oh, well, if you don't support what, the president of Ghana wants to do, then you want American slavery back. I'm like, it's like, what are you talking about? Just because I'm black and, like, maybe my family is from Ghana, why on earth would I not be able to critique a foreign country for something that they're doing that is so objectively wrong?
Yeah.
And so it's disappointed me as someone who just had so much respect and belief in the conservative movement and believing that it was a principled movement, and Christians as well. I've been very disappointed in Christians who are trying to use this, like, biblical argument for just, well, no matter what, like,
Are people doing that?
Yeah, it's pretty sick, man. It is very sick. They're basically saying that the Bible, the Bible will bless those who bless Israel. And I'm like, okay, so we have a country who first and foremost doesn't have to give us back our pedophiles. Literally, they have this weird rule that you can go if you're Jewish and hide as a pedophile. And actually an amazing Jewish organization did the work there. You could pull it up. I think it was on CBS. I forgot what the name of the Jewish organization, but they went to Israel and was like, why are we harboring pedophiles?
So there was a Jewish organization that they had pedophiles.
They did amazing. No, they were not the pedophiles. They did the investigation to show how people are using, how like people who have molested children in America, if they're Jewish, they can then make their trip to Israel and be protected by the government. And Israel doesn't have to they literally don't have to,
exposing
CBS News, that second one.
How Jewish American
You
pedophiles
will not find a single person who says that's wrong.
hide from justice in Israel. But can't they hide? Can't most people say if you are, so these are people that are Israeli citizens?
No, they can then become Israeli. So they're American, right? So if they're being on a trial, you get to Israel, they'll protect you. And so they went to where all these, pedophiles are and spoke a lot about, this, or I can't remember the name of the organization, but they did amazing work there. Jewish Community Watch, that's what it is. And so that's what I mean, where it's like, there's also this wrong conflation that annoys me as well, because you have Jewish organizations who will objectively say this is wrong. They recognize they are Americans. They don't support pedophiles. And yet the mainstream media is trying to conflate them and make them think that they have to defend the actions of this state. And yeah, if you even talk about this, so say it's anti-Semitic, talk about this. What are you talking about? You're taking billions. That's the difference here. This is a country that is taking billions and billions and billions. It's an American welfare state, And CBS jumped on it. A CBS News investigation has found that many accused American pedophiles flee to Israel, and bringing them justice can be difficult.
Okay, has been trying for years to find
Caro's
Caro
one
and
of
help bring
them.
to justice. So Jimmy Caro, he's a wanted man and is considered dangerous, accused of assaulting a 9-year-old girl in Oregon in 2000. He fled to Israel before authorities in the U.S. could apprehend him. But is this just one guy?
No. So this is a story about how they are doing this. Like, it's the main story is like that they were investigating is that there's so many people that did this.
Why do they allow it?
Because they have special consideration and they are not allowed, they don't have to give us back our pedophiles. I don't know. I never understand these random Israeli loopholes. And it's ridiculous. And the fact that they can just call people anti-Semitic, it's just like a sweeping allegation. How dare you notice that this is happening over here? You anti-Semite. And it's like, we have every right to critique this nation because you take money from us, especially, right? That means when we go to work and taxes are being taken away, we're paying to support this.
Well, yeah,
and then we're being
I know that
gaslit by the media who's telling us that critiquing them in any way is an act of hatred for Jews, which is just such a nonsense.
Oh, I don't like that Netanyahu guy, man.
I hate him.
That guy seems like an evil guy to me, and I think he's seemed like that to most people now because of, mostly I think it's just like nobody wants war or anything, and we're lucky to live in a place where, Tennessee's not at war with Kentucky, so there's not like the risk every day or night of things flying over, the fence. But I've thought that America is a kind of like a shell company sometimes. But maybe it's always just been that way. Like that's the thing. Like maybe it's always been that way. Maybe it isn't. I just would like to know what it is, right? So then it's like you can operate within the reality of things.
Yeah.
But then also people say that, like, well, why do you think there's such a strong relationship between the two countries then?
Blackmail. I think blackmail. And I think this is the reason why we don't get to open the Epstein files. We don't get to open the JFK files. And I think it's a form of gaslighting us to pretend that our special friend and ally isn't just and by the way, parking aside America, other countries too. You investigate anything. I'm investigating Brigitte Macron, and Israeli blackmail comes up in Morocco. Israeli blackmail comes up in. So to pretend that we don't know that Israel is involved in blackmail operations is foolish. And again,
I think all countries are probably involved in them.
And I think that they have been they have gotten it down to a science. And there's no question in my mind that sexual blackmail is what Jeffrey Epstein was involved in. And I don't know if that means these people don't know when they go to these parties that the girls are underage, and then it's like, haha, we've got you on tape, whatever it is. And we can even taking a look at the Diddy case, blackmail, these powerful blackmail operations are definitely operating. And
that's actual blackmail too.
Yeah, it's true blackmail. If you have hidden cameras and you're capturing people doing drugs and sleeping with underage people. So I think these are blackmail operations, and I think they've been going on for decades in America. I think it was Jeffrey Sachs who spoke really well about that, the history of that on Tucker Carlson's show. And he's Jewish. And that's what I hate about it. trying to make Jewish Americans think that they have to defend the country is so ridiculous. I am not required to, if my family goes back to Uganda, I'm not required to defend Uganda as a state. I'm sorry, I'm an American, and I think what you're doing is wrong. If it doesn't really matter, you know. And you're right to say that it's sort of this circumstance where everybody knows something is going on, and they think they're just going to keep gaslighting us. It's so weird. Like they're just going to go, nothing's going on. Nothing. There's just everybody woke up one day and decided to be Hitler. Like that's what the media is basically accusing us of, for like noticing a lot of dead people, like a lot of dead women and children. And that's failing. And by the way, I think that is the reason. I don't regret them doing that, because it's the reason why podcasts like the mainstream media, you know, this like effort to just keep smearing, libeling people for noticing basic human things. And I don't regret it, because I think it's the reason that trust with them has been fractured. I'm grateful that people no longer believe them. I'm grateful that now people are going to independent podcasts. And when we go on to Spotify, you see like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens. That means that for holding on to just like basic human values and being willing to talk about issues in a way and not pretend that your audiences are stupid and not seeing what you're we've earned their trust, you know. And I don't want to fumble that ball. Like I want to always say, even if I don't know something, and sometimes I can't speak on it, that I don't know everything, but I'm willing to find out before I speak on it, or at least have the conversation and not treat you like you're an idiot and I'm like the authority.
Yeah, I just can't learn at a fast rate. That's one of my biggest issues, I think. Speaking about Epstein, right? How do you know he's not just a Jewish guy who was being perverted or whatever, and that he was doing business? Like, there's no real connection that he works for Israel, though. Well,
he had passports. Yeah. So, and then it's also his ties to Ghislaine Maxwell, Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell. The whole Mossad attended his funeral. He died in very weird circumstances. I don't think even people who are pro-Zionist would deny that he was obviously Israeli-American intelligence. And he had weird passports. I mean, he had like a Saudi Arabian passport, an Israeli passport, an American passport.
Oh, he's perving then.
And yeah, and under different names, by the way. He had working passports of these different countries with different names. You can't just get that. You know what I mean? You can't just get these passports without being connected to the intelligence services. And it was never made clear why he was so rich. So who was giving him all that money? Was this like black ops, our tax dollars going to give him this illusion of wealth and power so that he would party with all of these billionaires? And yes, you're right. Blackmail operations happen all across the world. I think America, in terms of just how America has been seized, that's the only explanation for how Israel's able to expand with such a small population. And like, you know, somebody has to be fighting their wars. Somebody has to be funding them. We're funding them. So I think we've just become like the piggy bank to them.
But but if that's the case, what is the cross relationship? Because, yeah, I mean, I think the Middle East is historically a place that's not super chill, you know? So that's probably what a lot of people would say is like, oh, well, you need an ally there, right?
Which is so stupid. I hate when people just say stuff. Like one of my things that
I mean, it's a strong theory, though.
But it's not. It's just people just say things that are said all the time. Why the hell do we have any business in the Middle East at all? Like, why are you just trying to tell me that like I need an ally? And I actually don't. I don't like. Why are we involved constantly in Middle East drama? Again, this is one of the things that we've just been programmed since childhood to think that like we need to be. Why are we in Afghanistan? Okay, let's say the Taliban is terribly corrupt and they're making women wear. I would like to mind my business. You know what I mean? And
right.
So there's this idea of international expansionism, international liberalism. Everybody must think like us, live like us. Really, like, I'm good if they don't, actually. I'm cool if, like, Russia wants to decide how Russia lives, and if...
Yeah, I agree with
like,
that.
Pakistan wants to decide how Pakistan lives, and...
What the fuck?
Why are we so nosy? I actually just, you know, we're, like, next-door neighbors. Never once have I thought about how you live. I've never, like, when I got your address, I was like, well, no, I've never thought, well, I really think that the morals in my house are so good that I just need to go next door and force Theo Von to live like I live. And this is what time I wake up. I wake up at 5:30, and he should get up at 5:30, and he should organize, you know, the clothes. Like, I just don't, I kind of like to mind my business, like a little bit, if that's possible. If America could employ that foreign policy for a bit, it'd be great.
I agree with that. That's exactly how I feel. But I do think that we're so fucked in the Middle East because we've started so much, you know, we've been just as bad as any other country as about causing trouble in places, you know?
And for whose benefit? Who has benefited from that? All of the stuff we did in the Middle East, who's benefited from that? The answer is Israel. Okay, America has not benefited from any of these wars. Why did we just have all of these
If we've been
daughters
kept
and
safe,
sons dying in the Middle East? Is America a safer country? Our borders are wide open. Are we a cleaner country than before we got into these wars? Are we do you remember the glory days? Were you alive in the 90s? Things were so chill in the 90s. I feel like I always go back to that. I'm like, I swear in the 90s, everybody was chill. We were happy. We were wearing overalls. We were saving up money for Disney in like those big Poland Spring bottles. Like at least we were in my house. And then I just feel like September 11th happened and we just could not stop being involved in stuff. And we were told that it was because it was going to make us safer. And it didn't make us safer. All I know, I don't feel safer when I have to just like strip dance at every airport. We used to not have to do that as Americans. You should just get on the plane.
Isn't it unbelievable?
And they never found anybody with a shoe bomb. It was just this illusion of Middle Eastern terrorism that made us give up all of our rights. Things used to be cleaner. The streets used to be cleaner. There was an America before we decided to get involved in everybody's business.
But you can't blame that all on Israel, though, I don't think.
Well, I'm saying that I'm talking now about our Middle Eastern policy.
Right. Well, yeah, I think we've created so much carnage over there that now you have children who hate America. You have places that hate America. Yeah. And the sad part I agree with you on is that, yeah, the regular American people are the ones that have to sign up for the military because they either it's tradition in their family or they want to support their country or they don't have a choice because they're going to have to go to jail, different reasons. But they're the ones who have to actually go and die and be the pawns of these sick governments, right? And I do think, or these strategic governments, like that's the thing. I don't know sometimes if the governments are, if some of the international politics, I don't have an understanding of international politics. I mean, I have ways that I feel, but I don't have a strong information well. But I do think that it's sad that it's the regular just voter that has to go and put their life on the line.
Right.
You know?
It's the very same people that the mainstream media calls racist, sexist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic. And then the price you get to pay for that is that you get to sign up and fight the wars so that those little elitists can write their articles about you. Like I literally said no one should sign up. Like when we under the Biden regime, I'm like, I would never send my kids to fight in a war for a foreign nation when this is a condition of ours. The whole idea of signing up for the military is you're supposed to be defending the homeland. Okay. Now we're defending Ukraine's borders. And they're again using the same weird argument to try to make
that whole Ukraine thing is unbelievable.
But
like,
it's a laundromat.
It's
a laundromat. Look into it historically. Yeah. Zelensky is a puppet, that's being, and the use of that was we were running money through Ukraine. They can't account for the billions of dollars that we sent to Ukraine. It's a laundromat and it's just being sent back to the same elites while the American people suffer.
Now that part I totally agree. I mean, we can't account for any, I mean,
no, but it's a laundromat. This is money laundering. And this is what I mean when I say.
It feels like that for sure. Like you just don't really know what's going on.
And they shame you.
We can't trust but who shames you?
The mainstream media for not supporting it, and that they shame you. They call you the isolationist. You don't want to get involved in Ukraine. You're an isolationist. I'm like, dope. Love it. Can I get it on a t-shirt? Isolationist. You don't want Big Pharma to have more power. You're an whatever you need to call me, put it on a t-shirt. And that's what I hope that people get from me when they watch my podcast. And people know that this is just high school name calling. Okay. A bunch of dweebs are down in DC, people that you would have probably never even freaking hung out with. Okay. And they're telling you how you're going to live and how you're going to work for them. The stuff they would never have the courage to do. You love the war so much, neocons, the conservative side, put your kids in the war. You love it so much. You love Israel. So go fight for Israel, dude. There's no rules here. Pick up and go, right? Like if the pedophiles can go, I'm sure you can go. And it's not that. Instead, they think
pedophiles should have to get out there on the front lines, I think.
That's a perfect solution that I would get behind. All of them. Every single one of them. And so, yeah, that'd be great. Put them all in helmets. And I'm just so sick of people who live
no helmets.
No helmets. No helmets.
I'm going to say that.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so sick of people. And then they look down and who are the first to sign up? Oh, the good old boys. People down here in Tennessee, Alabama, right? And they hate you. They hate you the most, right? They hate a white American straight male is like the number one person that they want to just like annihilate, like every sense of America.
Well, I will say that I definitely felt like, I felt like during like the past 8 or 10 years of mainstream media, yeah, like you were the one that got picked on. Like people where I was from were the ones that kind of felt like you got picked on by late night hosts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you were the only person that was left to make fun of was white men, right? It was the only person, so it was just like all your fault. I hated that shit, you know, because I don't even identify with a lot of, they're like, you're redneck or you're MAGA. It's like, I don't identify with any of it. It's like, don't tell me who I am also. Like, I didn't like that shit.
But yeah, but they should be angry about that. So you realize this is it's those people that are writing the articles that hate you who will be the first one to tell you to sign up to go fight the wars that enriches them. It's a nonsense. Like, who cares? Call someone a redneck. Can I get it on a t-shirt? Like, who cares? Stop this cycle of abuse. And that's always what they try to do is they try to, well, you're ignorant. I sip my, is it chai latte in New York City. I know nothing. These people who lecture you about the environment and lecture you about, you know, what we're so educated. We write these articles about like Green New, whatever it is, have never been in the environment, man. Like they're in like a concrete jungle. They would die. They would literally die if electricity went out for longer than a week. Yeah. Okay. They don't know they make fun of people who hunt, who want to survive. And then when there's something that they want to accomplish overseas, they want you to go die. And so I just want Americans to wake up to that, wake up to that and to realize it's left and right. And when we are just screaming at each other and you don't recognize that there is this power apparatus that sits in the middle and that they will always use you and use your emotion and use words like racism and sexism and anti-Semitism, that should be the first red flag. When you hear someone not making an argument, but calling someone a name, what you have behind that is a fleet of nerds that are trying to socially engineer you to go do something for them. And they would never do it for you.
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in there I should probably fact check or whatever, but I don't even know where to get started. But I do think there's a lot of news out there. We know it. Everything. It's too much. So much advertising attached. Everything. It's confusing. You don't know who to trust. That could be changing for you. San, I want to tell you about Straight Arrow News. Stay abreast of what's going on in the world. I know it's overwhelming. And it's more overwhelming when the interfaces and the apps you're using are trying to spin the information. You don't get that with Straight Arrow News. What I love about Straight Arrow News is just even the headline. It's just the information. Do you want to know about this? Boom, click, learn more. That's why I've been using Straight Arrow News. Straight Arrow News is a place that empowers you with unbiased, fact-based journalism that informs, educates, and inspires trust. So you have context to the stories that impact your life. Go to san.com/Theo Von to check it out. You can visit through the link in my description. When you visit, you not only support me, you're also supporting a group of journalists who are raising the bar on news by delivering news without bias, filter, or spin. Welcome back to trustworthy journalism. Just the information. Straight Arrow News, san.com/TheoVon. UFC 313 is this Saturday, March 8th at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's exclusively on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. The main event has UFC star Alex Chama Pereira defending his light heavyweight title against number one contender Magomed Ankalaev. This will be Pereira's fourth title defense. Ankalaev is on an 11-fight unbeaten streak. He's on a heater, boys. In the co-main event, you got Justin Gaethje. Dan Hooker hurt his hand, so he's out. But they brought back in Mr. Rafael Fiziev. It's a rematch between these two. It was a back-and-forth brawl last time. Gaethje ended up getting the win in that one. These guys, between them, have 30 finishes in the octagon, so it's gonna be a banger. This is all exclusively on ESPN Plus pay-per-view. You can buy now at espnplus.com/PPV. That's espnplus.com/PPV. So you connect a lot of dots between like Israel and media, right? But do you think that it's just capitalism? Like, don't you think a lot of times it's just business, and that's how business works, is that they're, like it's one of the side effects of capitalism.
If that were the case, so the reason why this is different is because Israel is actually the exception. They are the only country that's allowed to lobby Americans. Like everyone else has to register as a foreign agent and under FARA.
Like with AIPAC or whatever?
Yeah, so AIPAC, the backstory, by the way, before JFK got shot, he was fighting AIPAC. They were previously called, I'm blanking on this, you can look it up. And he was literally saying you have to register under the Foreign Act.
Is that true? Let's look it up.
1,000% true, and you should look it up. We should fact check that live. He was fighting with what is today known as AIPAC. Was renamed AZCPA. I don't know what that stood for.
In 1959, AZCPA was renamed AIPAC and American Israel Public Affairs Committee, reflecting a broader membership and mission.
Yeah, so JFK told them that they had to register under FARA. And so American Zionist Council, that's exactly what it was called.
Okay, American Zionist Council was a pro-Israel lobby in the United States founded in 1949. It represented 9 nationwide Zionist organizations in matters related to...
See at the bottom there? In 1962, look at the last paragraph. In 1962,
President John F. Kennedy and his brother Bobby, as a U.S. Attorney General, forced the AZC to register as a foreign agent. In doing so, they were barred from making monetary contributions to U.S. officials. Who was barred? AZC?
Yeah, so AIPAC, for lack of a better term. They were called AZC back then, but continued to send out newsletters and hold events with a nonprofit tax exemption. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was he was shot. So he literally, they were writing him letters. You can find this. This is all this is available information. And he was like, you need to register. And then we told you to register. Why are you not registering? This makes no sense. And then AIPAC got lucky because he got shot and killed.
What also you could
So they are the reason why I'm bringing this up is not to further conspiracy theories.
Country?
They're the only country that's allowed to lobby Americans are not registered under the FARA Act. And so when you see these
under the
people,
what act?
FARA. So that's like if you're a foreign agent, you have to basically register, your communications are monitored, all of this stuff. But for whatever reason, Israel is an exception to this. And the reason is because JFK got shot, because otherwise they would have been under this. So that is the reason that they're allowed to do this. And so, when this... And then, of course, we're not allowed to read the files, but leading up to his death, he was having arguments with the Prime Minister, Ben Gurion. That's a fact, another fact. He was having heated arguments with Ben Gurion, and then look it up. JFK.
The Foreign Agents Registration Act is a U.S. law that requires people and entities working on behalf of foreign governments to register with the Department of Justice.
Mm-hmm. So it drives me insane to see these absolute frauds. Like when they go, oh, Russia spent $1 million, or whatever they said. I remember they came after Lauren Chen, and they're like, there is idea that Russia spent money, and they'll say something like $26,000, or they spent $3 million, and influenced the election. And all of these people will be taking money from AIPAC, but they're like, oh, well, AIPAC got lucky. Well, JFK got shot.
But wasn't the Russia story that was figured out to be a facade, right?
But when you hear these people in your government saying this, you should know how fraudulent they are, because they all are taking money from Israel. And so it's like, yes, is Israel doing it legally because a president got shot? Sure, but it's wrong. A country should not be able to lobby to get what they want and control our congressmen. And you get to see them flex that muscle, TikTok and things of nature when they are now interfering with our speech, and they'll get laws passed really quickly. It allows literally a foreign country to make decisions in our nation. Lobbying should just not be allowed, full stop. So instead they go, oh, well, you're focusing on it because they're Jewish. No, you're just the only country that's allowed to do it. I would feel the same way if there was a Chinese lobby that was spending. To do it? No, there's no other country that's allowed to do this but Israel. Only AIPAC. There's no other country that everyone else has to register under the FARA Act, and that changes things significantly. AIPAC is the only, American Israel PAC, whatever it is allowed to spend $100 million in our elections and not be called names. Like could you imagine if Russia spent $100 million in our elections? If there was a Russia PAC or a Chinese PAC, and they were just allowed to spend that kind of money to lobby and pay our politicians to say things and to believe in things. And that should make people angry. Irrespective, like I said, it could be any country.
Unless... Right, I agree with you that it's amazing.
Or let them all do it.
Right. If America is owned by Israel or something, or part ownership or whatever, just tell us that.
Right. Well, they don't want to.
That's a weird thing I don't understand.
Then you wouldn't sign up for wars. You would start to question things in a different way. And so it becomes important for the government to keep Americans ignorant of how Congress works, what's going on, so that they believe their congressman when they go on a rant and say, Israel's our friend and ally, and they don't know how to just very easily look up and see whether this guy's taking money, or when someone says, this vaccine's going to save your life, and they don't know, what's happened with the CDC, or people don't even have basic civics understanding, but that's by design. And this is something that my former colleague Matt Walsh said, and he's so right. Go back and read the letters that were written during the Civil War from like poor kid from Tennessee, Alabama, Louisiana, writing to his mom with no formal education. And it sounds like poetry. They were so educated. 17-year-olds, I'm talking 17, 8-year-olds, like talking about how they miss their mothers. And you read these old letters and you're like, Americans were so educated. There's been an intentional effort to make Americans dumber and dumber and dumber about their own processes, because then it allows for the gaslighting media to come in and sort of make, you have people now, you look at we are factually speaking getting dumber and dumber every decade. And they fashioned this with the Department of Education, which is now they're going after that too, which is great. Trump is saying like, no more, but you federalized education. And there was a reason for that, because now they can keep you focused on learning about emotional things. Well, we want you to learn about race. We want you to learn about sex. It's very important that we learn about trans rights. And so this is where I think the left and the right we're fighting over stuff that's so irrelevant, right?
Yeah, a lot of times it's just like everybody's fighting over bullshit that doesn't super matter. It does matter, but really sometimes just like select small groups. We get these political kickballs that get kicked around back and forth, and they're the biggest things in the whole world.
BLM and
the bathrooms, bathrooms. Like I'm just saying, I'm not saying that trans people don't need a place to urinate. Everybody does, but I'm just saying it seems like there's ways to figure it out. I'm from a community where if somebody attacked a gay person or a trans person, you would fuck those people up, right? Like that's just where I'm from.
And also, by the way, we had already solved that. Like everywhere in the world, it just used to just say bathroom. And we knew that meant anybody could use it.
Right.
Do you remember this? And that now it's like this issue where they're now writing signs that are like, any person can go here. And I'm like, have you never been on a plane?
Do you? Yeah, I know.
Everybody just goes in the same bathroom. So
it's making.
That's how we used to be.
But then people bring it. But then there's always some lurker or some little slurper running around in and out of there, putting on a bow tie or whatever. There's always some little frickin' sniff god running his nostril up in there, trying to get a huff of something young, And that's where it gets a little bit dicey, Like at the airport, sometimes when it's a unisex bathroom, you'll see like I've seen like a pair of young girls walk in and then a guy walk in. It seems
I don't mean the big ones. Cool. I just mean like when they had the independent stalls, which is just allows like a family bathroom. You just go in like one person at a time.
Yeah,
but
I'll use the family stall. I use the one at the airport in the secret wall. It just says family or whatever
cleaner.
on it. I'll go in there. I used to go in there and smoke.
I'm going to report you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
It's fine.
But obviously you like you're into conspiracy theories.
I'm just into the truth. And as soon as you start following the truth, they call you a conspiracy theorist. But like I said, I'm comfortable with it. I literally sell stuff that says conspiracy theorist. My whole mission is to make people realize dweebs are calling you names and I don't know, like you just got to stand up to them. You called me a conspiracy theorist for talking about vaccines for years, and then COVID happened and suddenly people are all looking at my old series and going, wow, well, if they could lie about COVID, did they lie about other stuff? Yeah, buddy. You're looking at a drug cartel. Yeah. They're going to lie to you. They know some things,
I think things start to feel super obvious to a lot of Americans that it's just been that we are being laundered, right? We are the things but then then it gets to a personal level. It's like, do some people even really care? I know there's a part of people inside of their spirit that probably really cares for most people. But then it's like, how do you uncompromise and unaddict yourself from the easy things to want to spurn yourself towards action, right? Well, let me say this. How do you keep because you got anti-Semite of the year or whatever, decade, or I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But because I don't like what Israel, their space in Gaza, right? Like that to me is just seems super tyrannical. But didn't they just come up with a thing today about the ICC? They can't prosecute Netanyahu?
Yeah, because he runs shit.
Is that today?
Yeah, he's like the ultimate grand gangster. He's like, even when they catch him doing the crimes and we created this court for exactly what it did, they said, you can't do this. Then they say, well, just cancel the courts. Can you imagine being like that much of a worldwide gangster? It's crazy.
Right. And I wish they would just say, look, we're still letting everybody be gangsters, because that's what I don't like about the media a lot of times. There's this thing. It's like we all need to look out for each other, and we need like climate change, and we need to make sure that everybody has a safe place to urinate and all those things, which, yeah, I think all those things are important or worth discussion. But at the same time, you'll have countries that are still playing this Fidel Castro type of role. So it's like, why do we keep saying all these little things are important, but you can just say, hey, we're still in colonial, or we're still in the old school days, and shit is what it is.
Yeah.
So fucking mark off your fence yard and protect your fucking shit, because that's what countries are doing. Like, that's how they're operating, but they're trying to create ambiance that makes us feel like we can't operate like that, or you're a bad person if you do operate like that.
Right. They're actually morally pretentious. They're pretending it's like, oh, we've just gotten, we're so dignified, we would never do this. Look, if it's the rules of the jungle, it's the rules of the jungle. Let us know.
Right. That's it. That's my biggest thing.
It's this illusion of we're better. We would never. Oh, because of World War II. You're doing all of it, right? You're violating every single one of these codes that you put into place. And if you're going to do it because I'm big and you're small, then say that. So like the small guys know what's up. It's the rules of the jungle.
That's my thing. I just want to know what the rules are. If America is owned by China and Israel and Taiwan, just tell me that. Let me know. Like, because at a certain point, if you keep,
what you're talking about, by the way, there's a term for it. It's called real politicking.
Real politicking?
Yeah. So I did
That's
like
all I want. I
foreign
just wanna
policy
know.
paper. It's like, I'd rather know that we're working with cartels in South America, because we are, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's cool, CIA, like whatever. Just like, please stop the pretentious, your face. Oof.
Yeah, that's
the American government. It's the scoffing. We would never. Yes, you would. Yes, you have. And yes, you are. And people that know real politicking.
Let me look at real politicking.
Yeah.
Is the approach of conducting diplomatic or political policies based primarily on considerations of given circumstances and factors rather than strictly following ideological, moral, or ethical premises.
Right. And so if they're like, yeah, here's the thing, cartels are getting big in the South. And so, yeah, morally, we shouldn't work with the cartels. But also, if we let the cartels keep growing and El Chapo keep growing, then you know what? Then Mexico could become stronger than us. So we're going to do deals with the cartel. Like, that's realpolitik, right?
Or say, Israel is we are partners to the end, and this is how it is.
Yeah.
The problem is, I think you used to be able to do that, but the news decided to not be the news anymore. It decided to be not real, Well,
because the CIA purchased them, right? And that's a fact. Again, you could pull this up so that we can conspiracy theory. What is Operation Mockingbird? The CIA, after JFK was shot, which is just the fact. Look, please look it up, because I'm going to sound crazy if you don't look up Operation Mockingbird. But everything happens after JFK gets shot.
I'm never going to work again, but let's look it up.
It's fine. No, this is on Wikipedia, so we're not on Reddit feeds here. You know what I mean? Everything I'm showing you is on Wikipedia, so it means like they've admitted it.
Operation is
alleged. Here we go.
Scale program at the United States Central Intelligence Agency that began in the early years of the Cold War and attempted to manipulate domestic American news media organizations for propaganda purposes. And where were they from?
1963. They're at the bottom.
So it's just a group of Americans?
No, the CIA just paid American journalists to say what they want to. Operation Mockingbird, right? So that you and I are taking money from the CIA. This would be the theory, and they're paying us. Yeah, if we're journalists, and so then our job is to be like gaslight the American people. So that if, let's say, the CIA was involved in shooting JFK, right? Okay, well, that kind of is what I believe as a conspiracy theorist. But I don't listen to me. I'm a conspiracy theorist. I believe CIA was involved. And so the next thing you have to do, if the population's freaking out, what's going on? Okay, they start putting journalists on payroll, and they're supposed to gaslight you and be like, this is a closed case. The matter has been closed. JFK tripped and fell, and that's how he died. And anybody saying anything else is a conspiracy theorist. Also a fun fact, the term conspiracy theorist was created by the CIA. It's literally a gaslighting. It's a word that's used to gaslight you. And so I've fallen in love with going back and learning real history and recognizing that the public school classrooms, which I grew up in, were meant to program me and to social engineer me. And so to find like historians, if you want to know why people react the way that they do when Tucker has on like a Daryl Cooper or somebody that's deep in, can tell you more about World War II and more about World War I, whatever it is because they are the mockingbirds, right? They are freaking out because this is now failing. There has never been any indication that Operation Mockingbird has ended. In fact, it is known that Barack Obama reinstituted Project Mockingbird. And so you have to know these things.
How do you know that?
You can look it up, Project Mockingbird Obama.
But did you write the article that's out there?
No, I'm not. They would never let me be an editor. I won Anti-Semite of the Year. There's no way they're letting me do anything ever on like anything government stuff. They've put me on the ADL list. They've tried to smear and libel me into like a ridiculous way to make it. I mean, they say I'm literally Adolf Hitler. I'm Adolf Hitler. I'm the second coming. I've read somewhere.
Well, at least they casted a black Hitler this time.
I feel like that's cool, right? Like that's good for DEI or whatever.
Here's my question.
I'm so nice.
I'm
way too pregnant. This is crazy.
Break. No, you're all right. I just need a break. This is too much for my brain today.
Yeah.
But how do you keep your Jewish friends but have issues with like Israel and stuff like that? How do you manage that?
I haven't, not even one Jewish friendship has ended because it's very weird. Like the purpose of these advocacy groups.
And Jewish agents set this up today too. I want to know.
Yeah, but that's the point. Once you know people, they're not going to fall. You think I grew up in a very Jewish town. I grew up just outside of New York City, and all my best friends growing up were Jewish. It just happened to be the way that it was. And so, like, you're not going to convince them. These people that, like, I was at their Rosh Hashanah dinner. Like, I know Jewish prayers, and the Jewish families that I worked for in New York overnight that Candace turned into Adolf Hitler. Like that actually is being sold.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's just like they're not going to buy that. You know what I mean? So it's stupid. But the other thing is that they haven't yet worked through. I think this new generation of smear tactics, like the people that are employing it now, people like Barry Weiss, they haven't quite figured out that once people have a platform that's big, like if people are watching your show every single day, and I say, actually, Theo Von is an avowed racist, like he is the second coming of whoever, he just wants slavery back. You're not just condemning Theo Von, you're condemning the millions of people that listen to him, and they get mad because they know they're going to be like, I listen to his show every day. What are you talking about? Like he says raisins are... You like raisins because they're grapes that have been through shit. That's a Theo Von quote.
Yeah, I would never do slavery, dude. I have fucking 3 employees. I can barely
But if
handle
I
these
had
guys.
advocacy groups and tons of money, I could just be like, write articles that say Theo Von hates black people. Okay, we could do it, but at the end of the day, people that listen to you know better and they get angry. And all it does is it breaks them away from trusting the mainstream media more because they are listening to you every day. So I have the confidence in my followers. They know me. They know who I am. I don't hate anybody. I just hate liars. And they come in all different shapes and sizes and races and religions. You can find you can find you a liar anywhere. So.
Yeah. Well, I do think because there's also a lot of great things that I see, like in like a lot of Jewish families, they value education.
Right.
They invest in their children. Mm-hmm. Those are like some of the things that they do super well. They work together, right? Like a lot of Jewish guys that I know, they'll connect you with another Jewish guy to work with or something, like they help their group, and that's something that I feel like other groups could learn how to do as well. You know, that's something that I think I
learned my work ethic I got from 2 Jewish men. I worked in private equity for 4.5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that's
in
why
municipal bonds?
Not in municipal bonds, in private
got
equity.
Into some. Mm-hmm. It's going pretty, I mean, it is, it's, what do you mean it's going good? It's set percent.
Yeah. So, but they pretty much like, you can't live in New York City and hate Jews. They're literally everywhere. But that's kind of been one of the worst things about the politicizing of this. Is exactly what you're talking about. My perception of Jewish people is being someone who grew up in New York, that they work hard, they grind, they fight, they love. You can get into an argument with them. They don't take themselves seriously. You can say whatever and then be out to dinner. And to see the branding of that now, like this like victim mentality, I don't recognize this like
what
whiny
do you mean victim mentality.
Well, now whenever things become political, it becomes like the DC version, and this is why I also hated the BLM, because black people are like very funny, have a good sense of humor. You can always just like make a joke, and that's kind of like that's what our culture is. And then BLM turned black people into like victims, like racism's everywhere, and it's in the way that person's braiding their hair. It's a form of whatever they're learning in school, weird terms, cultural appropriation. And I'm like, it turned us into wimps. Like this was our cool thing, was we were funny and we could take a joke and mock people for being, white, redneck, Chinese. Like that's the cool thing. And when you remove that and then suddenly like it's like hysteria and you're like, I'm a victim and everybody's in it. It's like, you're not fun anymore. You suck. And I hate you because you suck, not because of your race, whether you're black, Jewish, or white,
Yeah, I mean, I think America is just, I mean, we still haven't even dealt with, I think, the trauma from like the Native Americans that were in our land. I think we still have a lot of like repairing to do, you know? I think we're still repairing.
We just need more comedians. I don't care about your feelings. I just want to make fun of you. Please, can we all just make fun of each other? We go back to that's what I say, the 90s.
Oh yeah, that shit was great.
And Chris Rock was up on stage and he's just making fun of you for every issue you have. And by the time you walk out of there, you're all laughing at each other and you realize that your shit stinks and your dog does poop, ma'am, you know? Oof.
Do you think, I know, that lady scoffed at me when I fell out of that chair at the inauguration. She's like, oh. Like I was a fart that had come out of her. Oh, look at this gross. This thing from steerage that climbed up here somehow. This thing that would never get in a lifeboat on the Titanic. You know, that kind of fucking. Yeah, when I fell out of that chair at the inauguration, that's what she was doing. What else do I want to ask you about? Okay, so you have, let's get in. I can't even handle anything else serious right now. You have a conspiracy theory about Brigitte Macron, right? Or it's a conspiracy theory. And look, we were one of the first podcasts that had Bobby Kennedy on because he's a friend of mine, right? So he came on and he even said, dude, I don't know if I should be on, right? And then fast forward 3 years later, 5 years later, and he is, and now those people were like, Bobby's the fucking man, you know? So I understand, like, you know, conspiracy theories and also just being brave to have somebody on. Like, I was like, some people might be afraid to have Candace Owens on. I was like, I don't want anybody telling me that I can or can't talk to somebody. Like, that to me feels really good. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll admit probably I'm not the best in this conversation of like some of the topics. I probably get scared or I don't know enough information, right? But that's always something that I kind of struggle with. And so sometimes I let things be said where it's like I don't fact check them, but sometimes I just forget, you know? I'm not a fucking wizard either. You know, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. So I work hard at it though. You fucking better believe that. People are like, you know what the fuck you're doing? I'm like, yeah, but I'll be there every fucking day. That's exactly who I am.
That's why people like you.
I never figured it out.
You're exceptional at being average. Like average meaning like relatable.
Oh, thanks.
That is what you're exceptional at, is people feel like they can listen to you and they can understand and they can think with you. And I think we've disrupted, and I'm putting myself in the same box here, like we've disrupted this model of lecturing the listeners that they had going on for years. We are CNN. We know. We will tell you
feel like
what
you
to
get lectury though?
No, not on my show. Do you watch my podcast?
I've seen your podcast before.
No, I'm just having fun.
Now you do come off with a lot of information.
Yeah.
And you get creative, and you create like these
timelines and stuff. I'm a psycho. Like, I'm a woman, you know. That's the difference between us two. Like, where I'm a woman, so like it's got to be organized. I got to be like, like the kids. I got to put their clothes out, and the same thing for my podcast. I'm like, let me tell you what happened. Look at this timeline.
Have you faced
Taylor
legal
Swift.
issues? Have you been sued?
I have been sued. I have indeed been sued, but have I been beat in a lawsuit? No.
And do you have to have a lawyer on staff?
No, but I have a lawyer that is like, he's basically
ready.
my friend. Like he's become like a brother, you know, like we get all sorts of crazy letters. We get much more threats to be sued. In terms of like actual lawsuits, I've only gone to court with 2 people, you know, won them both. So.
Yeah, I was just curious. And what about cybersecurity? I noticed that you had this, you have this Brigitte Macron, who is the wife of the president of France. His name is Emmanuel Macron. And one thing that's interesting about them is they have an age difference, right? How many years is it?
How many years do they tell people, or how many years is it actually?
Wow. That's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't watched the series, I mean, there's a reason it's going.
I've watched 2 episodes of the series.
Crazy. It's This is not like wasn't nothing. And I want to be clear. I wasn't the one who I happened upon this because I'm one of these rare birds, because I'm nosy, that if I see something happening in another country, I will take the time to pick it up in the foreign language and then interpret it into English and to try to read and understand it. And most people just will be like, I don't really care. It's happening in France. It's happening in Romania. It's happening wherever. I just make time. I get interested. And so Savannah, who's my manager, remembers the night at the UFC fight where I found the reporting on this. And actually the way it popped up was like the Daily Mail actually did a piece on Brigitte Macron. It was just funny to me because they were like, Emmanuel Macron, you know, angrily denies the rumors his wife's a man. And he was like all stressed out and was like, it's not true. It's not true. And I was just like, what the heck is going on in France? Like that, like the president has to come out and make a statement on this at all.
Well, this is a story that's come up over the years. Like this is an alleged thing.
But what was weird about the Daily Mail piece?
But in 10 minutes, can you give me what is going on?
Yeah.
Here?
So what was weird about the Daily Mail piece is that they didn't debunk what the people were saying, and this should be such an easy thing to debunk. Like if you were like Candace Owens is a man and never grew up, in Stanford, I'd be like yearbook. Here's me and my family. It's just like it's such an easy thing to debunk. Like why is this going on for years? And so that's what caught my attention. Looked into it, and 1,000%. She was born a man, lived as a man for 30 years, and then transitioned at some time in the 80s.
But are you worried about getting in trouble for slander by saying that?
I have welcomed the lawsuit. I mean, Emmanuel Macron sent me a threat before we published, and we went back to him.
Did he sign it or whatever?
It was his lawyers.
Oh, it'd be cool if he
And
signed
so,
it.
yeah, he sent the threat. And the way that it works in Tennessee, first and foremost, we have the good old boys here. So I said to him, like, this is not the state to come and try your little hoopty-floopty French, Parisian, whatever it is. Like, if you're messing around with kids, this is not the place. It's not a place for you. Secondly, like,
Well, who was messing around with kids? The wife then?
yeah, that's what we're calling.
So Brigitte, you're saying, is a male.
Biological, believes.
Was a male or is a male?
Well, you can't really change those things in my world, but lives as a woman, clearly.
Okay, lives as a woman now. Yeah, I would have never thought that she was a man.
And so anyways, the story really is just like, lived as a dude, transitioned, met Emmanuel when he was just 14 years old.
Okay, so she was a woman when they met, you're saying?
Living as a woman early days, like
Living
not
as a
doesn't
woman.
look hadn't had all like the feminization surgery. I can even tell you her doctor's name.
Oh, you're saying so she was just kind of fresh out the
Growing the hair out, like starting to like live as a woman,
just like fresh out the Lord and Taylor kind of.
And that was his drama teacher, and he was only 14
Is
years
Lord
old.
and Taylor a women's store?
It's both.
It is.
I think it's out of business though.
There's a bad reference then.
And so she was his drama teacher. He was 14 and
she was how old?
40.
Nuh-uh.
I swear. That's like official. Like that's like they don't deny that.
So wait, so they're 26-year age difference? My parents were 32 years age difference. So I can't really,
14-year-old.
Well, now here my parents didn't meet until my mom was 30.
That's my point. It's very different.
Okay, so that's
the age
interesting.
difference matters. If you're 30, if you become an adult and you want to whatever, I don't really care. Like if you want to be a 30-year-old man, 30-year-old woman marrying a 7-year-old man, it's not my business. You're both adults. And usually there's some like financial consideration, whatever. But 14-year-old boy doesn't.
Dowry, maybe.
A dowry, yeah. For a 14-year-old boy is just weird. And so the media just kind of tried to sell it. And I just kind of looked at the story, went through it. There was so much evidence, and there was a reason they started they're like locking up journalists. Like, just so you know, they started arresting people. You don't do that. You don't do that because someone's lying. You know what I'm saying?
Look that in a separate window, look that up and then bring it up. I'm going to see this. In 1993, at the age of 39, she met, Brigitte Macron met the 15-year-old Emmanuel Macron in La Providence High School.
And that's a lie.
Oh,
he was 14 when he was in the play because they told the story about what play he was in. So the journalists went back and they were like, he was 14 when he was in this play.
Okay.
So it was like just little
So
media
1 year,
lies.
it's about 7% of his life, though, at that point. So it is it's a decent amount. And everything sounds romantic when you're reading all this stuff, too. Where she was a teacher and was student and classmate of her daughter. Brigitte divorced Ozier in 2006 and married Macron in 2007. Wow. So they really fell into something. In December 2021, Natasha Ray and Amanda Roy broadcast unsubstantiated rumors online that Brigitte had never existed and that her brother Jean-Michel Trogneau had changed gender and started using that name. So what does this mean?
So what they had done was what they started to do, and I show this in my series, is to make the mainstream media convince you that it was all a lie. They were suing people for defamation and winning. And so they were like, obviously it's not true, but they were lying about why they were winning the defamation claim. So they were never winning on the substance, like you transitioned. They'd wait for someone to make a mistake of like, not Brigitte Macron as a man, but they said that Brigitte Macron went to La Providence High School. And Brigitte Macron's uncle was this. And then they would go and slap them with a defamation lawsuit.
I see.
And be able to prove that they made a mistake somewhere else. And the press would just lie and pretend that they would tell you half a truth. Like they did get sued for defamation, but it wasn't regarding whether or not she was a man.
But isn't it just love that they love? I mean, the part you're saying that's so obtuse is the fact that you felt like they were groomed, kind of.
Yeah.
Because if somebody who is a man or woman falls in love with somebody else, that's okay.
That's fine, but this wasn't that. And it's also because you can't then misrepresent yourself as like a Catholic, a strong Catholic who's leading a country. People vote for reasons. So if you want to be an open transgendered person who likes 14-year-old boys and you decide to run and a country elects you, cool. You know, that's their business.
Now, what age did they get married at? They didn't get married when he was a child.
No, they got married in 2007, and which
when
is
he was
why
how old?
Way older.
Well, then that's kind of
no, but they were together. They were not like
they were together the whole time.
Oh yeah. They are basically like she fell in love and couldn't resist anymore. And then he went to a school and they tried to romanticize it. But there's a lot more that went on here. Like I mean, there's a ton of people around them that have then been arrested for
and this is all
pedophile
stuff you're
crimes.
saying.
No, it's like these are the. I mean, I only presented the facts because he sent me a legal threat.
Okay,
like don't publish this series, sort of a thing. And when we went back at him and we said, Mr. Macron, we won't publish a single episode if you just answer this question. What and we gave him 21 yes or no questions. The first one was Brigitte Macron born a biological male? They came back and refused to answer. They said they don't owe you an answer. Now that's stupid. If you're going to tell me if this is causing you so much distress and defamation, of course the laws are if somebody tries to get the true answer from you, you can't sue for defamation. That's how it works in America. And so,
but I could see somebody being like, "Oh, this is so problematic." But if I engage with it, it becomes even more problematic.
But if you're sending a 100-page letter, honey, you're already engaging, right? So they sent me a letter first, so it's ridiculous. And then they said like, emotional distress, all of this stuff. Well, we said, okay, let's end this. We're not interested in conspiracy theories. We'll end this. You tell us, did Brigitte Macron live as a man named Jean-Michel Trogneau? Yes or no? They refused to answer. I'm like, okay, so. What is it? You can't have it both ways. If you want this to come to an end, I have the platform to end that. I will say we looked into the story. Here are the responses we got. It's definitively not true.
That, you think?
Of course, I would have done that. It doesn't like help my platform to be caught in a lie.
Right.
Then people will lose trust in me. You know what I'm saying? So if they find out that I knowingly lied and she wrote and said, no, I never lived as this person, whatever, that would reflect poorly on me.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't tell if I think it like if that happened when you engage or would you not engage, what would you do there? Because it has to be, I mean, it's such a murder mystery kind of thing, like a
the series is fun.
God, it's very, and since it's French, they have all the stuff you can't pronounce that good.
Mm-hmm. I can't pronounce any of it.
Oh, I love that shit, dude.
And now I'm doing the Harvey series, which is going to people are going to go crazy.
But now you had a series though that also was about it was about Kamala Harris's
genealogy.
Mm-hmm. How did that end? Because the theory was what?
Oh, she's just not black. The whole series started by accident. She just like when I say she, I meant the mainstream media just came for Janet Jackson, and you can't come for the Jackson family.
Yeah,
I grew up in a black household. You got to be
kind of look
real
like a
character.
Jackson a little.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. Stop.
Stop. God, it would be good.
Wow, I'm just gonna eat up. That compliment, I'm just going to let that hit.
Yeah,
Thank
that'd
you.
be awesome. Candace Owens investigates Kamala Harris's claims about her black heritage, particularly focusing on a photograph Harris shared in her book where she posed with a woman Harris said was her grandmother.
It was not her grandmother. And
it was not. And you found that out for true?
Yeah, we ended up finding, I just knew. And it was just like a vibe. Like I said, some of these things you just know. Like you can't explain it. Like when you're black, you just know certain things. Like a fisherman sees another fisherman in the wild, sort of a thing.
Oh yeah, black people can tell if you're not black.
Yeah,
dude.
we
Except
just kind of know.
Except for Mac McClung, who won 3 slam dunk titles in a row, dude.
Who did?
So Mac McClung, and he's the slam dunk champion. He's won the 3 dunk competitions in a row in the NBA.
And you can't tell what?
I'm just saying. Usually, you can tell if a guy's cultural appropriating or not.
Right.
But this dude is just just has it.
Is he black?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you were saying he's actually black. I was
but
like,
he could be drinking black blood or something. I have no idea.
He's
got it in him.
He's obviously drinking black blood. I think we can go ahead and say that. Right?
He's got more bunnies in the zoo, dude. That guy is just crazy. Okay, but go back. So
the Kamala Chronicles just happened by accident because I was like, there's nothing about her that just signals to me that she's black. And she was kind of running on being black. And then we started our series and she dropped it. She would not say she was black again. She would not answer. Oh, yeah. She never said it again. Never called herself the first black nothing. They stopped it immediately because I just realized they like come up with these books and people just don't ever actually prod the narrative. And there was a ton of things that weren't making sense. And so we got in touch with her uncle and he was like, nope, that person's not related to me. Nope. He was like, it was crazy. I just got, that's me. I'll get into the weeds.
And so what was the final founding on that? Did you come to a conclusion?
Yeah, she's mixed, but she's not black. And so running as the first black person was just completely crazy. She's not mixed black. Like she's
no black at all, you're
she's
saying?
Indian, her Indian, Syrian, Jew, and Irish.
So she's unblack then.
She's unblack.
Wow.
Yeah, and she was running on like a black thing.
That's what you're saying, huh? Mm-hmm. And it's tough because you can't see if somebody, I mean, I guess they should have like a black database or something, but I don't even, how much would that cost?
We just know.
Yeah.
We just know.
And maybe as a black person, you do just know.
Yeah.
And these are series, right? You have one about
Kamala, one about Brigitte, and now the one that we're doing is the Harvey Weinstein files.
Harvey Weinstein files. And somebody said that he emailed you from prison or something?
No, it actually started, there was a random woman who had reached out to me and basically said, you know, you're the only person that I think that would actually look into this case beyond the media. And I'll be honest, like when they first contacted me, I was like convinced he was guilty because like there was just so many people that were saying that he did this or that, and I'm like, someone somewhere has to be telling the truth. And then when I got into the actual, after speaking to him, which was like a crazy conversation.
You spoke to Harvey?
Yeah, I've been speaking to Harvey for years now. And it was a crazy conversation because there was no reason, we have nothing in common. Like Harvey, first and foremost, is like the #1 donor to the ADL. I'm like on their list. He's a huge Democratic donor. I'm Republican. And he's still all of those things, which is like when we had our first conversation, he was just sort of like, who are you? Like, why do you exist? Like, why is someone...
Did you reach out to him?
No, that person put us on the phone. I guess she was kind of lobbying him, being like, you need to have someone who's an independent journalist look up his case, like, or it's never going to get a fair shake in the media because they have you as like, you know, the devil. So that was like a super interesting conversation, and we still have nothing in common. But I am very good at being nuanced, and a lot of people, if you don't like Trump, then you are okay if he's wrongfully convicted. They pick people's character and decide that they're okay with whatever happens to them. And I'm kind of the opposite, where I will be very nuanced and say, like, Harvey was immoral. Harvey was cheating on his wife. Harvey was abusing his power as, you know, the guy in Hollywood. I do not believe, after looking at the case, that he has been. I do believe that he's been wrongfully convicted. And so it actually, as I was looking into this, his case in New York got overturned on appeal. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But he definitely, he knows where all the bodies are buried in Hollywood too. So he was an interesting guy to piss off because he was the phone call, you know, he was the one phone call every A-lister made when they got themselves into trouble too. And they all turned on him because
he was kind of like the closer over there, the Siriano or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And when the Me Too movement happened, I think men were scared. So a lot of them turned on him because what other option did you have? They had woman after woman after woman coming out, and men could not stand up in that environment when it first happened. Mm-mm. And so I think a lot of them turned on him because they just were, it was basic self-preservation.
Oh, I checked my penis in the hospice, I remember. It was just a tough time for guys. Yeah, you were afraid to shake dudes' hands. I remember that. You were afraid to even be, like, it was scary. And you would try to speak up for friends that you didn't think did something or that you did. And then, like, you would just be bastardized online. Like, I remember there was, like, famous, like, celebrities who would, like, tag me and other friends in tweets and be like, they knew everything, just shit. Like, what are you fucking we do not know, you know, but crazy shit.
Mm-hmm. And careers were being ended, like on a blink of a tweet. Yeah. She'd be like, he looked at me funny, and they would be like, he stepped down from the corporation today. And I'm like, over the tweet? What's happening here? It was wild times. I always stood up against the Me Too movement. I was very adamantly against it, vocal against it, and people on the left and the right condemned me for it, for my stance on Me Too.
I think the Me Too, I think it was definitely everything goes overboard, right?
It's out of control. I mean, we need due process. That's like, you can't just tweet something and say Theo Von did this and then he loses everything. You got to actually have due process. And
you'd see male animals hitchhiking down 65, be like, I got to get out of this town. Like, what do you fucking do? Like, it's just fucking, it's getting hot in the kennel, brother.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, so I think me doing this is because now that everyone's done, you know, snorting the Me Too lines and is coming down from the high, it's good to be like, hey, so you remember when we were like doing that thing and everyone was just kind of saying everyone was guilty on the basis of an allegation? Let's actually go back and look at one of these cases.
And you're looking at Harvey Weinstein case.
I believe it is the case.
You believe he was innocent?
I believe he was wrongfully convicted. I don't want to say Harvey Weinstein is a moral or an innocent man, because that sounds like I'm saying he behaved well. But there is a difference between being immoral and being a person who abuses their power and being a person who was running the peninsula like his own personal brothel and being a cold-blooded rapist. And so I want to show people what, because I was shocked opening these documents and text messages and emails and reading what these women were saying after their rapes. And like, you know, there's a certain way that I would speak to my rapist, and that is not at all right. Right. And so, you know, some of these.
And is a lot of this stuff public domain?
No, because the media would not report on it. And it's so similar to what we saw with this like whole Blake Lively thing going on, where once they drop the article, the New York Times removes context. Like, it's like, okay, well, if we had had those messages that she sent to Justin Baldoni, people would not have instantly tried to cancel Justin Baldoni because they would have said, oh, this needs context. And now it's time. We're now in the era of context. So we need to go backwards and look at that most crucial case, because that was the beginning of it all. And he took the fall for the Me Too movement. And he's still a very powerful person. Like, it was like, we have gotten into it. Like, I'm just like arguing in prison with Harvey Weinstein, and you can see who he is and who he was. But I just believe in justice. If I hate you, I will still defend you if I think you're wrongfully convicted. I hated Matt Lauer, and I was like, come on, guys, calling him a rapist because he had an affair with his intern. I mean, women are just always so hopeless.
Why even hire an intern?
Yeah, I know. I mean, but the men get
That's a
powerful.
joke, too.
Yeah.
That's a joke. I think, yeah. And that's
For men now, though, I mean, like, what is the incentive to hire women after the Me Too era? If we don't go back and course correct, I would be scared.
I will say this.
As a
I
guy.
was afraid to bring female comics on the road because it was spooky.
Yeah.
And you would be like, well, what if
One wrong joke.
right? What if I look at them a certain way? I mean, I'm in like we just did a movie, a friend of mine and I just self-funded our own film and put it together and everything. And so we just got done doing it, and I was like, on set, I was like, oh, I gotta be, can't joke around, gotta be careful what you're saying. Or I would yell out, that's a joke, right? If I said something that I thought might be obtuse, you know?
And that's what I mean. That's not fun. Like, it's like we need to go back to being able to like make fun of women. And also, by the way, the end result, women don't like that. We don't like men that are castrated, men that now won't ask women on dates, men that won't hit on women. So we created a whole culture, and now women are frustrated by the culture. Everyone's a wimp, you know?
point.
It's like, okay, cool. Ask her out. Tell her she looks nice. And guess what, girls? You can just say, no, I'm not into you. Like, he can suffer the humiliation of thinking he had a chance. But why are we ruining like natural relations between men and women? Like, it's nice for guys to hold doors, ask you out, make you feel pretty. And
Yeah, get you a chocolate or something.
yeah, definitely.
When I was young, yeah, you give a girl a chocolate or something, take a girl out for a fish fillet or whatever.
Yeah. From McDonald's?
Oh, no, like a real one or whatever. Dude, my mom used to order the fish fillets, but she would fucking... I
need to know, what's your meal at McDonald's? I judge everybody by this, so be very careful.
Me, I do a double hamburger, which isn't on the menu, but you can get it.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
pickles
yeah.
and ketchup.
Do you add any Big Mac sauce to that?
No, I don't know who's making it back there. It depends.
Okay.
If Big Mac himself is back there, I'll take a couple
That's an okay
ounces.
order. I mean, it's not fun, but like, it's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of sad though, but I'll tell you this, I used to get 2 milks with it.
Milks?
Yeah.
What in the Theo Von
We
world?
ride here.
What?
Oh, hell yeah, boy.
2 milks?
See me in the streets, you don't know me. I'm the T.I. of
No,
fucking
has-
Mickey D's orders, baby. Look at that little milk jug right there. And that's what they used to call my sister, little milk jug.
He's the only person that's ever. That's what we used to call my
Used to
sister,
call
little milk jug.
Because she built like that. She built like that. Click on the third one right there.
Nobody in the history
There
of
you
McDonald's
go.
ever got the milk jug, but Theo Von. They kept that on the menu for Theo Von.
You can't order more than 2. That's the crazy thing.
What?
Yeah. That's a limit.
Because they only have like 10 because no one orders them.
It is.
So if you order more than 2, they've been sitting in the
We
freaking.
ride here. I'm just saying, we get it how we live.
Wait, stop, a double cheeseburger with a double milk jug?
Oh, double milk jug, baby. Give me 2 of them. And the lady be like, you really won't do? I'd be like, yeah. And then we would laugh a little bit. I'd tip her. But yeah, that's how I like mine, like that double milk jug. I used to get an apple pie, but I don't want all that sugar anymore. But my mother, I forgot to
That
tell
is
you
a
this.
Theo Von order, man. That is right there.
My mother, she would let us order, and then she'd be like, she would order the McFish or whatever, but it would almost be like she was ordering like a special, like she'd be like, they'll have this and this and this. What do you want? She'd be like, and I'll have the McFish. It was almost like
The
like-
adult order.
yeah, like quiet down. Let me do business here with this person.
The
you know?
McFish. Yeah, see, I feel like I can't trust the McFish. That upsets
Hell
me.
no.
She has the wrong order, and I'm not here to disrespect your mother, but I would speak to her about that.
Of course, I've never looked at an ocean and at a McDonald's and be like, yeah, these things should know each other. yeah, that's a fucking. There is not a yellow brick road that connects those bitches. But so it always blew, and she would look at us as if she was disappointed. Like that's my mother would scoff some, like, you motherfuckers don't know about a McFish. You fucking children.
Nobody should be ordering the McFish. I want to be very clear.
I agree.
Like you get like a Hi-C orange. Yeah. It's obviously delicious, and the McMuffin, sausage, egg, and cheese McMuffin.
Oh, is that what you get?
Amazing. Their hash browns in the morning are they're fantastic. They're absolutely fantastic. And you know what? RFK Jr. is bringing back beef tallow, so we're going to be able to get some beef tallow fries.
That's what I heard. Who's doing it first? Shake Shack.
No. Steak and Shake.
Oh, good for
and
them.
I've never had it. I've never had Steak and Shake. But I don't even know where to find a Steak and Shake because I'm from the north.
You'll get them.
Mm-hmm. Have you have Steak and Shake?
No, but I say go door to door if you're Steak and Shake. I used to sell door to door Italian with this guy for a little bit. Do you think that mainstream media has an overall goal or has had an overall goal besides just capitalism? Do you really think that?
I think they were just in service to the state. I think the whole idea of the fourth estate was fake. Like they weren't here to defend the people. They were here to defend the state, at least since the 60s. That's what they've been doing. And now they are where they are right now is in survival mode. They don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with the new media. I think they're gonna try to create backdoor ways to reacquire their talent. I don't know if you followed the recent deal with Fox News building, which is crazy. They purchased Red Seat Ventures. Do you work with Red Seat Ventures?
Red Seat.
So that's a no. You don't work with them.
No, I don't.
So they were doing advertising for independent podcasters. And we had spoken to them and we were just kind of like, no, we kind of broke away from corporation structure. We don't really want to we want to do everything in-house sort of a thing. And then they purchased Red Seat Ventures, so they were able to kind of backdoor reacquire Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, everyone they fired, which is kind of crazy.
Really?
Think about how weird that is. I was sitting here looking at this deal and I'm like, didn't you just fire Tucker? And now you're like, why don't you guys just admit you were wrong? Just come out and be like, you know what? Tucker's got the juice.
Oh, I see. Instead of just admitting it publicly one way, they would rather
now
lose
they're trying
and
to
then go back door.
So there's all these articles. Fox News is interested in the podcast world, and so they reacquired via just the I'm not saying that they own the Tucker Carlson podcast. They don't, but Tucker Carlson and Megyn Kelly and who's the third one? Bill O'Reilly, who they literally fired all these people. Were all using Red Seat Ventures, and Red Seat Ventures, their pitch, because I remember that I spoke to them, was kind of like, eventually all roads lead to Red Seat Ventures because you realize you need somebody to do your advertising deals. Like you're going independent, but you don't want to handle all the advertisers, whatever. And so they literally, if you look up Red Seat Ventures just in Google, you'll see like the recent deal. Fox News acquired Red Seat Ventures, and I'm like, okay, it's objectively an interesting move because it kind of signals to me that you wanted to reacquire your talent. You know what I'm saying?
Fox Corporation today announced its acquisition of Red Seat Ventures, a leading business in the creator economy that powers talent across a range of genres as they build their direct-to-consumer media business. Does it say what talent it works with?
Yeah, scroll down. So Chris Balfe they're the founding partners. I would
Chris
go down.
Balfe and Kevin Balfe, I'm assuming brothers or husbands.
Yeah, I would go out of PR Newswire because that's just like them writing it, and they're not going to say what talent was with it. I would go to Reuters. Yeah, they would probably have. Yeah,
Reuters. Is that how you say that?
You know what? I've been saying Reuters. It could not be right, but that will tell you that like you're.
It's just me at there.
So they've been interested, but like it was Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and here you go, Carlson, Kelly, Sean Ryan. Oh no, that's just saying that we reached millions of subscribers daily. But yeah, they had
the deal brings O'Reilly, Kelly, and Carlson back into Murdoch's fold.
So I didn't like that at all for like Carlson and Kelly and O'Reilly because I'm like, whoa, you fired me, homie. You know what I mean? Like, hold on, let's be very clear. You shamed me publicly. You fired me. You said whatever. I wasn't a part of this, whatever it was. And now you're kind of like trying to build this little backward network. No, you need to say you're sorry first.
Wow.
But I'm sure that like obviously Red Seat will have had a deal with them that will expire. And what will happen is those people just won't renew if they don't want to because they might say, no, you literally fired me. See. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, so they're the middle guy, but I thought it was an interesting move. Without saying you're sorry, trying to reacquire someone.
Well, I do think it's interesting that some political areas some shows have become more, have slowly tried to like slurp on a more of a conservative side. Like, Bill Maher did that well over the past 4 or 5 years. You started to see him like, he recognized like
where the wind was blowing.
He was able to see it ahead. Do you think America is a place that everybody is just here and you can be here and be not even supporting America? That's what's interesting to me about America. That's what I start to recognize. Like, oh, well, some people are here, but they're not America first, right? Or they may not be. Do you think America's always kind of been that and that's what it is? It's kind of this halfway house for everywhere? Of the whole planet, or do you feel like it's this other, like you have to buy into this, red, white, and blue stars and stripes?
What I would say is right now America's kind of in the midst of this identity crisis, and that's in large part because it's been conditioned now by the media and the school system in partnership to kind of tell people you should hate your country. And the reality is most Americans never leave their country. They have nothing to weigh it against. And they sort of blindly accept this narrative that like we're just these bad guys who did bad things. And there's been sort of this like American shaming that's taken place. And it's been effective. That began to sort of snap back with Trump culture. And that's kind of what people were missing. It wasn't about when Make America Great Again. It's like, allow me to just feel good as a American. Like, why can't I like being American? What's wrong with just being straight? Like, it's like we celebrate everything, but like, we almost started like hating normalcy, which is like a weird thing to say, but like, if you were gay, if you were anything, is something going on, whatever it is, handicap, it was like, yes. And then if you were just like, yeah, I'm just like a straight white dude, it was like, oh my gosh, what do you mean? That's you're not
queer. Then
you guys became the queers. Yeah. And so that was weird.
And the American flag became this right-wing symbol, which I was like,
what's happening?
But it was like, doesn't anybody see that? Like, don't you notice? Like, I wish there were more parties. I don't think there's enough parties that, I think you can't pigeonhole people in a Republican or Democrat most of the time. I don't think you'd ever be able to pigeonhole me that way. I think there should be more political parties so we feel like you can find one that fits you. Because it's just this dirty Cinderella where neither one of these fucking clogs is really helping me get down the stairs anymore. It feels like,
But you're right that you said we were saying the flag became this symbol of like,
and it's like nobody else noticed that. Like that's our country's flag, right?
Like what's wrong with this?
Yeah, like.
That's what I mean. We got crazy. We got absolutely crazy. And so we were in the midst of an identity crisis, but it was a social engineering. It happened intentionally. They wanted people to feel that way. And I think now it's snapping back and we're starting to realize the problem are these people who are making us feel like we had nothing in common, and we have a lot more in common than we don't. And so there's like, now we're going through like this period of healing, which has been nice. And we were kind of talking about this off camera where it seems like the right and the left are finding things to agree on and realizing that these caricatures of what it means to be be on the left or the right were largely created by the media. Yes, you can find very fringe people on both sides who do not defy or who are the stereotype. But that's not the majority of people. Majority of people just want to go to work, have a job, have low gas prices.
Live in a safe place.
It's not that hard, right?
Yeah. Right. It's called Nashville. But I will say this. I think, if you have an idea, right, that you think, well, we have to get rid of this group of people or these people aren't, well, that is never going to be America, right? America is always, when it comes to like races and ethnicities, right? It's going to be a melting pot, right? So you always have to think with the goal at the end is that everybody's going to be here.
Yeah, but also we should be clear, like not everybody should be here if they don't appreciate what it means to be an American. You should not be allowed to be here. Like there is if you have resentment for America and at the same time you want to come to America, we have a problem.
But then people say you have the freedom to think and feel whatever you want.
Yeah, you also have the freedom to stay in your own country.
Right.
That's cool. You can hate America, but we need to have a process where people that resent America are not coming into America. Like we do have a value system. Like America was founded on Christian principles and things of that nature. And they were like, no, there's nothing. You can be whatever. It's like, no, you can't be whatever. Actually, you can't just be whatever and come to America. Maybe you and I have that privilege. We were born here. That if we get angry at our country, we can voice that. But
you could be Muslim or Taiwanese. You could be
right. But if you're coming here and we're able to decide whether or not we want you to be here, these things now, we need to make sure that culturally, whatever it is that you believe and whatever your ideas are, however you view America, that now becomes relevant. We need to have a system that works.
Yeah, I do think it would be nice. But then it's like, how do you get into that without communism, though?
Look at Japan. Look at Japan. Japan is, let's be very clear, we are the only country that has this idea that everyone should come here. It's insane, obviously, because that doesn't work.
Oh, I agree. It's like America gets held in the media like, be welcoming and do this and do that. But then meanwhile, other countries get to follow their letter to the law.
Right.
And we're held by our own media a lot of times to this ridiculous fucking
standard.
Why don't we have a letter to our law?
Right.
We should all at least have the common ground that America is first, whether we like some things about it or don't like some things about it. Because if not, it feels like you're just one of the ops,
Right. And multiculturalism doesn't actually work. And I hate to tell people that. I know it's like a fluffy dream. It doesn't work. Like
what do you mean by that?
You have to have a culture. Like there are certain cultures that cannot coincide with one another, right? So like, let's say, for example, your culture believes that, children should be able to make decisions about their sexuality, right? That it actually conflicts with my culture, and so I actually do not want you in my country. I don't. And
you may not want that person making the law, but they're welcome to be in their house and think and feel however they want.
Well, no, I'm talking about like people that believe that like a 9-year-old girl can have sex with, an adult. It's like that just conflicts with our culture.
Right. I agree.
Right. So we don't believe in that. And so what this whole idea of multiculturalism is no matter what you think, we can find a home and you can kind of build your own nest here. It's like, no, actually, I'm comfortable with us saying you can't do that. I'm comfortable with we're going to send you to the front lines because of your opinions. You know what I mean? And you got to go fight some more. And with no helmets. Yeah. And so that's what it is. We have to define what it is that we believe. And it's been increasingly difficult because people are forgetting just a couple of generations ago, what we agreed on in America, our parents were religious. You forget that. Like, what is the story of the South? Like, what is the story of the Bible Belt? Why is it called the Bible Belt? Well,
I mean, then that goes to a question. Do you think America is a Christian nation?
Yes.
Do you think it's more of a moral nation? And do you think that that's eroding? I mean, I think some of that could be a whole nother conversation probably.
No, yeah, and it could be another conversation, but I think America is a Christian nation that has forgotten that in many ways and forgotten why we were so much more cohesive and comprehensive when we had faith at the center of what we did. And once we started removing faith, and I'm talking about removing the Bible from the classroom, which was done in the early 70s, if I'm correct, Department of Education kind of a thing, people got lost real quick. And so I guess what I'm arguing for is a theocracy, which means you're going to run it.
A theocracy because I'm Theo?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. I'm going to miss this taxi I ordered in a little bit. I don't know if I can handle all that, dude.
We need a theocracy.
Yeah, I do think that there was something nice about having structure in the schools, but then a lot of that got challenged. Yeah, I think it is. Like, I think America does need to figure out, well, what is our footprint?
Mm-hmm.
Like, who are we? What do we want to stand up for and believe in and believe these are the things that define our country?
I believe that we're a Christian nation, and that used to be the thing. Like, before the flag became racist, we were all saying one nation under God. And then we became this nation that was one nation, like over God. Like, people become their own gods or worshiping Hollywood. It's like crazy. We become like a pagan culture.
Well, Hollywood is, it's celebrity. It has those things that are addictive, and I think a lot of that is
demonic, and the Bible will tell you all of those things about idolatry. Kids would have been learning that. I grew up learning the Bible.
Demonic.
Well, what is a demon? Right? If you have, you speak often about like you used to have addictions and things like that. And when I grew up in a household, people in my family still have, addiction issues. It's a demon,
Well, Hollywood gets pinpointed a lot because it's the glossy thing.
It's
too.
Babylon, yeah.
So I think
they love the culture of excess. Everything that the Bible tells us not to celebrate is becomes like the thing, and that's why it's like Hollywood Babylon. It's like they're trying to stay young forever. That's weird. Like, why don't you want to age? Like they look crazy.
Well, everybody wants to be fresh. I think
you want to be fresh, but I'm not afraid of aging. Like I'm not I think look at these women. They look terrifying and they're holding and stretched, and it's like, dude, you could just be 80. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody look like a damn doe or something. That's me. Yeah. You look like somebody put a couple eyes in a
like caring after yourself is
pizza dough or whatever.
Yeah,
somebody glued a damn snout on a pizza
lips.
dough.
These girls are 22 looking like they're 50.
Now dude, I'll say say this. I seen a girl, right? Her lips looked like they were getting ready to be, like they'd been in a burn, like just like inflated to probably 14 PSI or whatever. And it's like, what are we fucking doing? And if you kiss somebody like that, it feels insane. And then they put all that Glossner on them.
I've always wondered what the kiss feels like. Is it like weird?
Well, yeah, it's weird. But
then
like
a trampoline.
They polish them up with that Glossner. No, it's like, it's almost like you're sucking on something. It's almost like a shrimp that won't fucking give up. That's what it's like. It's like trying to eat two shrimps that won't give up.
I always wondered.
There's probably more we can talk about. Yeah, I do want to say a Jewish friend of mine set this up in case anybody gets.
Oh, I want to be clear. I'm friends with so many like Jewish people in Hollywood.
I am too.
So that's why I'm like, it's so just disingenuous. Every time we talk to them, they all agree on this topic of Bibi Netanyahu. Like they will support Israel, but they'll be like, they can critique him. And so we need to normalize that. Like, don't try to tell black people they have to support BLM. Don't tell Jewish people they have to support Israel. Allow people to be individuals. Allow people to say what they think, is right or is wrong without trying to pigeonhole them according to their identity.
I appreciate you coming on and talking. I'm excited to hear about the Weinstein thing. Mm-hmm. Good luck with the presidency. Will you homeschool your children? Will you find schools for them? What are you doing?
We're thinking homeschooling.
No way. Who's going to do the professoring though?
Me until like they get to like 6th grade math. And then I'm going to be like, wait a second. But
put the husband in?
Get a tutor. Yeah.
Oh, get a tutor.
My husband's excellent at math, but he wouldn't do it.
What does he like to do, your husband?
We talked about this. He sends war letters. He's English.
Oh, yeah.
He just sits in his library and sends war letters and laments the lost colonies. I think he married me because he's trying to build some back roads to the UK reacquiring America.
Ooh.
I think it's not over. Like the Revolutionary War is not over until it's over. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it never ends.
He's an agent. A British agent trying to reacquire the colonies. He slipped once. He called me a colonist, and I said, "Ooh,
kind of romantic."
Yeah, it is kind of romantic.
It's darkly romantic.
Yeah, the colonists.
Yeah, love. You never know where you'll find it.
He's
it's interesting.
Best. He keeps me straight. On the straight and narrow. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm like, why do we got to file these taxes? He's like, you can't, black people, why you guys got to try to not file your taxes? And I was like, I don't want to give this money to the government. He's like, well, you got to give the money to the government. So,
do you think that Elon has, that he is like for the people?
I'm the only person always, I have a weird feeling about Elon. I don't know why.
Curious about it.
Sam Altman, the AI crowd just freaks me out on a spiritual level. And sometimes it's just your gut, and I'm going with my gut. I think gut is God intuition, and they just freak me the hell out.
Well, here's the thing I've thought about
They even all look weird. Like they look like they're robots,
Well, here's the thing.
Like they come from another planet.
A lot of the inventors and creators now have, and I think a lot of people would say that they possibly have some type of autism, right? A little bit of it, right? And I think that's not debated by a lot of them.
No,
they
that's
would
fine.
say that, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty normal. But a lot of autistic people, they are good with concepts, right? But they're not as good a lot of times with emotions, right? Not in the practical way that people without autism seem to be. So that's what I'm saying. We're getting more products that are created that have less emotion in them and are more just practical.
Robotic.
Right.
But
because that's
scary.
the type of people that the creativity is going through.
Yeah, and that scares me, right? So I think they're like, well, why do we need a woman when we can create an artificial womb?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that. I feel like we should maybe pause and think about that before we all sign up.
Yeah, you don't want to be at the club and you're just grinding up on some electronic womb in the corner.
That's how I feel. Like I feel like that's where we're going to get with these people. And he has a lot of kids.
Shake it like a dog, baby. Do what you do. That song comes on and people are just grinding up against like some electric womb where you have to put a quarter in it or whatever to get to shake.
Line up to get pregnant, sort of a thing. I don't like any of it. It makes me scared, and they just make me uncomfortable. Yeah. And that's all I can say. I'm like, listen, I know I don't have, like you say, I don't have the information, but I have the intuition that like we're barreling towards this like AI future, and the lack of emotion just makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, okay, but these are humans. They're like, but here's how we can solve the human problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they are aliens.
Press one, yeah. Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's fascinating. Candace Owens, thanks for your time. Congrats on this. When are we going to see this baby?
May 4th.
Ooh.
May the 4th be with you.
The Ides of May.
Not really, but
Yeah, sorry, it's Ides of March.
Yes, but you were close enough.
Maypole. It was May 5th.
not the Ides.
What's May 5th? The maypole, isn't it?
And the Ides of March, the 15th. Oh, that's Cinco de Mayo.
Ooh,
You're thinking of tacos.
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. He
I'm
said,
not
"What's
thinking
May
of 'em
5th?
right now.
What's May 5th? Cinco de Mayo."
yeah. Oh, it could be Latino, huh? If you and a white man had a Mexican baby, dude, that's AI. Best of luck.
You
Thank
are
you so much for
hilarious.
hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones, but it's gonna take